I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to. They'll help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves. And the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for your call. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality it's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them sponsor my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies, and one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Gotta give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years. And my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Now back in my kitchen for a part 2. Mr. Jim Lindberg, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me, Toby.
It's weird calling your last name because I always just say Jim Pennywise. Everybody's bands are their last names.
I know, right?
It's so wild.
Yeah.
But the last episode you did was episode 56 for the listeners, and that was in 2021. Crazy, man.
Yeah.
A lot's happened since then.
I know. We were just talking about that. I listened to the podcast when you had the guys from H2O on.
Yeah.
And it just immediately brought me back to that time because you guys were talking about everything, about what it was like not to be able to tour and being at home and social distancing. And it's I wanted to catch up on everybody. And it was
such a crazy time, man.
Yeah, that happened.
But the world's open now. The world's back. The world's crazy right now, but at least we can play music and, and try to spread positivity and play shows and do all that stuff. How's your family? I know you have 3 daughters.
Yeah. It's heavy right now. My youngest daughter, who's at UCLA, she's doing a semester abroad in Italy. So she just left for Florence.
Wow.
And then she's got an internship when she gets home next summer. So we're officially empty nesters now.
Oh my God. Okay, before we get into that, Stella farted so bad, and you jinxed it because as soon as Jim walked in, he said, "Is Stella gonna fart?" It is so bad. I guess it happened to Skiba, Josh Brolin, now Jim. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Now I wish I would have gotten COVID and lost my sense of smell. Oh, there it is.
You smell it?
Kicking in now.
I'm so sorry, dude.
It's
and by the way, Jim. By the way, for listeners, Jim never got COVID, which is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that hasn't got COVID.
I read something that said there's some people that probably got so much stuff over the years from all my travel. Like I got so many different viruses that I probably developed some weird immunity to it.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Sleeping on floors, sharing the microphone, playing squats.
No. Let's be honest, bro. Him with every German sweaty beer drunk guy grabbing the mic and whoa-ing into my ears for 20 years.
It is true.
I've got sweat and spit and everything all over me. Me and Byron hate it now, but it's fun to have it, but you can't imagine what it's like to have the entire crowd just descend on your microphone. Like
every time you play it, basically.
Yeah.
And you have your own microphone, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because people were spitting on it during the set.
Yeah. So I think I've just swallowed and I've ingested every kind of chemical there can be, but
because we're like germ collectors. Like we hand the microphone out, people give it back, they spit on it, then we sing on it. It's kind of interesting what we do.
Yeah. And you guys just did Punk Rock Holiday, right?
Yeah.
So did they do that? Did they do Stage Takeover?
Oh yeah, for the last song in the set. It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Was that amazing? Fun? Yeah, it's amazing and fun, but it's also like, it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Because you're not trying to get hurt or like something happened to you when you're overseas or anywhere, actually.
And it's just in the middle of the forest and just some weird,
Slovenia.
It's burning hot and the river is freezing cold and it's a nutty place.
The river's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. The lime green rivers.
So now you're empty nesting, which I have a biggest fear about. We were just talking to my son, Max. He's 21. He still lives at home. A bunch of his friends still live at home at that age because it's very expensive to live in Los Angeles. Yeah. So unless you're going to a college and you have like doing whatever you're doing, like it's definitely... it's expensive out here, man.
Yeah.
So now nobody's at home. Just you and the wife.
Just last night, I went to shut the windows in my daughter's room. We have 3 daughters, so we have 4 bedrooms, and had to walk through her bedroom, and then had to do the same thing in the other bedroom. I'm just looking at all these empty bedrooms, all their dolls and toys around, and just like everyone's gone, man. It's just me and you now, me and the wife.
It's so crazy because. We raise these kids. We don't own these kids, right? You do your best. You raise them, put them out into the world, and then they go and do their thing, But then you have those bonds forever. But I can't imagine walking by. It's going to happen soon. He's 21. Hopefully he's out of here soon. But walking past an empty room, man.
Yeah, it's a trip. And you know what? I think it is different with the way we raised our kids. I mean, just witnessing you guys talking just now, like, I think parents and kids are so much closer than, like, I loved my mom and dad. They were great, but they were kind of into their own thing, and we were into our thing, and they didn't really mix that much. Like my dad liked Frank Sinatra, my mom liked Patsy Cline, I like Black Flag and Descendants. You know,
Yeah.
we're not going to be talking about the latest show or whatever, or surfing. My dad never went to the beach. We lived in Manhattan, Hermosa Beach, our whole life.
He never went to the beach.
Never went to the beach once. I think he came down once in his penny loafers and stood on the beach at a volleyball tournament for like.
Did your mom go to the beach?
Nope. Neither of them really went at all.
What? And you grew up on the beach?
And I grew up surfing and living on the beach. Yeah.
Wow, it's interesting.
But
I know what you're saying, though.
the kids today, like we were just talking with Max about surfing the ranch.
Yeah.
And we're, I know he plays drum. I was just saying, man, surfing and playing music, there's no better way to live.
Yeah.
And with my daughters, we just, obviously they did sports and whatnot, but they really loved music. They loved going to Coachella. They loved seeing bands. They would turn me on to new bands.
Cool.
We would play our records for them. And
did they like Pennywise?
They came to a lot of shows. Of course they hang out and they'd see how crazy it was. I think probably for 7, 8-year-old standing on the stage and seeing in Warped Tour in Ventura and just seeing the mayhem out there.
Seeing their dad on stage is crazy.
My middle daughter was always like, yeah, that's my dad. I think my other ones just looked around like wide-eyed, like, what in the heck is this,
Yeah.
And we're yelling the F words every 5 minutes, and so I think it was pretty crazy for them.
Yeah.
But there was times where they loved it and times where like, yeah, you just go do your thing and come home and take me to soccer practice.
Yeah, so after a while, it's like, whatever, that's just what my dad does. I've seen the shows a bunch of times and know the songs.
Yeah, but they still come out, Like
yeah.
my daughter, I have one daughter in New York, so
Oh,
she
wow.
comes to New York shows. She's living in Williamsburg now.
Nice.
Williamsburg.
And what kind of music are they into? Are they into like just like regular music? Do they have like stuff that
They're into everything, but definitely Swifties.
Swifties? Yeah,
They came
still.
up, yeah, they came up with her. They went to the last concert and loved that. But
That's cool, man. It's feel like it feels like if you're a Swiftie and you're at a super young age, you kind of grow with her, right? So you're
Right.
still a Swiftie
Yeah.
in your 20s.
you're on the team. You're not leaving.
I think it's cool, man.
Yeah, it's totally cool. They love Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah.
We went and all saw Phoebe together as a family at the Greek, and
That's cool. They into Billie Eilish?
yeah, of course. We saw her. They saw her at Coachella because we usually go to Coachella if I'm home.
Yeah.
I take them to that, so they've seen a ton of cool bands out there.
That's fun.
Me and my daughter's first concert was Beyonce at
What?
which was like jaw-dropping, that show.
She's incredible.
There's a lot
man.
of people that say that's the best performance of all time. Like just the production. She came in with a high school marching band.
I remember that. Was that during the Lemonade era? Or was that the?
I think it was after that, but she came out with Crazy in Love. And
Yeah.
it was crazy.
That's
it
so
was
cool
crazy.
that you're going to see Beyonce.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
what are the punkers going to think?
Yeah.
That's what happens. You're a parent. People don't understand. You get open-minded to so many things your kids are into. You would never think you listen to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's what, like, I love hanging out with my kids, and they love coming down and hanging out with us, and we have a lot of fun, and they're all doing really well. So I think that thing I said in the other F word, it's like maybe we raise better kids by being better parents,
Yeah, man.
And I've seen that so much in the world and out there talking to people of that, having that relationship so important, man.
It's so important because for us growing up, not that our parents were cold, they didn't give us love, but like you said, they were kind of doing their own thing. My mom was kind of tough love. She was raising 3 boys on her own.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she was totally involved in like even our homework, anything like that. We're kind of latchkey kids outside. My older brothers would take care of me. Then you find punk rock, this other family. And I don't know, we learned all these different things, those ethics and these different cool values from punk rock music, and then we become parents. And then, like you said, we instill that in them,
Yeah. Like you said,
the other F word.
yeah, listening to Minor Threat made
Yeah.
you someone who never wanted to drink or take drugs. I wish I would have totally got on that wagon myself. If I could go back and change anything, I think that's something that I would definitely do. I think alcohol in my life and the life of our band has been a terrible influence. And
Combination.
yeah, what happened with Jason and
Yeah, man.
And I've said before, the last time we talked, living where we did in the South Bay of Los Angeles, it was a very fast upbringing. It's lots of parties and lots of partying and
At a young age.
Yeah, at a young age, and living really hard, and a lot of people got caught up in it. That's why you see on our early songs, there's so many songs that we wrote about a friend who was messed up on drugs. Like there's a song called Vices, and Jason was actively trying to help people, and then at the same time couldn't help himself. And,
yeah.
It was, and so for you to have a song like Minor Threat influence you that much.
Yeah, man.
And then, same thing with your diet and different things like that. It is so important,
Yeah. It's crazy that this music that looks so chaotic and so crazy and so violent and so uninviting, it has such a big positive impact on us and so many people. You know what I mean? It's like, it's such a small, people think hardcore is huge now because there's so many bigger bands, but it's still a very small subculture. If you're telling like a normal person on the airplane what kind of music you play, if you say hardcore, they're like, they still don't know what it is in 2024. No. Do you know what I mean? It's just still a really small world to us.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Regardless of the big festivals we play and all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's weird how, it feels like our scene doesn't get a lot of media attention. Yeah. When you consider how big it is. Like we're playing the same size shows that a lot of bands that get a ton of media attention are playing. Mm-hmm. I think we kind of flew below the radar a little bit, but at the same time, I think there's bands even now that are putting out such great stuff, still putting out great music, and are so influential to a lot of people. That's what I think is really healthy about the scene, Yeah,
absolutely. It's a cool world to be part of.
Yeah.
But then it's like it's like with balancing your family, which is a different reality than being on tour, right? You have like two different lives almost.
Right.
Because you're just a dad at home raising $3. How many years you been married for now? Don't fuck it up on this podcast.
Dude.
Over 20 years?
Honey, are you listening?
Over 20 years?
We got married in 92.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah. So we got married during the LA riots.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time, man.
So a long time.
It's like almost 30 years, I think. Yeah.
And she, my wife used to go on tour with us. Like she went to Europe and this is back in the day. And she went on a couple US tours and she hadn't since we had kids. She never went at all. And she just recently started going again. She went to Europe with us.
Oh, that's cool, man.
It was so cool to have her out there like night and day,
Yeah.
Everyone was a little more on their best behavior when
of course.
Mama Jen's around, and
it's also good for you mentally too to have your wife there or some of your family there.
Man.
Yeah.
And she worked me. She made me walk every day. Like we were talking about walking.
I love that, dude.
We were walking around Budapest for like so long. I think we got like 30,000 steps that day. It was crazy. She's like, oh, let's just keep going. Let's go. Look at that castle. Let's walk over that. I'm like, that thing looks like it's about 10 miles away. Are you sure you want to walk that thing? I remember I played the show that night and I was like, dang, like I'm tired, but we get a lot of steps on stage too, So I looked at my step count that day. I'm like, dang, I got like 30,000 steps today. This is nuts.
I don't think we could track. We have to have our phone in our pocket to track our steps on stage.
Yeah, and we're just kind of doing this, the little cha-cha around the stage,
So for your wife coming to those places, you've been there a million times, right? So like, I've seen that church before. I've seen that castle before, but not through your wife's eyes. And she's like, let's go. Let's hit these streets, go to all these beautiful places.
Yeah.
Well, not that we would take it for granted, but sometimes you just want to chill at the venue or whatever you do, eat some food. And you know what I mean?
And it's been a while since she's been out. Like she's been stuck at home with the kids for so long, just raising the kids for us, and I'm out touring. She doesn't love flying.
Same.
At all.
Same, man.
She really hates flying.
I hate it too, man.
Yeah. So she's
not a good flyer, man.
Yeah, I know. My wife and my daughter aren't great.
Are you a good flyer?
Yeah,
Can you sleep on flights?
I'm a fatalist. Oh, I sleep like a baby.
Oh my goodness! Before the flight takes
off?
I
look forward to flights. I don't look forward to 5 weeks of shows in our crazy band, but I do look forward to like, oh, there's a long flight. Like I'm going to load up my Netflix, probably watch a movie, a documentary.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm going to listen to some music. Maybe I'm going to write for a while, and I've got 3 books in my backpack, and I'm just like, yeah, and then. after, 5 hours of that, then now I can really sleep, and I just love it. But
wow.
at the same time, my wife will be with me, and like I'm looking over at her, she's just like staring straight ahead. I'm like, get it something to distract yourself. Like that's the whole point of like, you've got this time where you're stuck in this plane, like read a book and do this stuff. She's like, nope, can't. Nope. She's just listening for weird sounds.
Like white knuckling it.
Yeah, just white knuckling it. Have you heard about this recently? There's guys that are calling
raw dogging
the flight.
Like for the listeners, that's basically, it's just nothing, no music, no nothing, no TV, or
yeah, it is.
You're looking at the map or something.
It's like a working out thing, like you do with your ice sponge. It's like how much pain and uncomfort can you handle?
Just to be in my mind the whole time.
Yeah, you just have to sit on the flight and stare at the back of the seat. You can't listen to anything. You can't go pee. You can't drink some water. You just have to raw dog and stare.
Wait, you can't even drink water?
No.
People do this too.
Yeah, and they're like, that was easy, bro.
I mean, I understand the no stimulations because it's hard for you to like fall asleep, but the TV's like right in your face. But I like music too to chill out with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got some like ginger chews. I got all these flying hacks for my last travel because the jet lag's been really killing me, man. Like really wrecking me when I'm there, because if you're staying up on an overnight flight and you can't sleep, when you get there, you automatically want to sleep at the hotel. But they call it like the first day like a zombie walk. You should stay awake the whole entire day, walking as long as you can to go to bed at least like 8 o'clock at 9 o'clock, so you can beat the jet lag. But first time ever in this band, 30 years, we all flew business class back and forth to Europe this summer, and it was a game changer. We had those bed pods.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I'm sure you've done it before.
Yeah.
It is a game changer.
Yeah. No, it's totally. My wife would never, my wife does books like yours does. And she would be like, I am never, ever sitting. Like, you can go sit up there, but I'm sitting back here. I finally made her do it on the flip to Europe. And she's like,
so this year,
she said same. She's like, yeah, that's a game changer.
So did she go to sleep and lay down maybe?
She hung out, but she just loved it,
It's insane, man.
I think the problem is like when, when you're in economy class and it's cool, you can handle it, everything's fine. It's just the time when you get someone sitting next to you, or you get the middle seat and they're a punisher and they're doing something that you're just like, I can't sit next to this guy, or
But you're trapped, man.
Yeah, you're trapped for 8 hours with that situation.
Yeah. So laying down, I slept like 6 or 7 hours. I've never slept on a plane my entire life, and I slept 7 hours coming home. It was unreal, man.
Yeah.
The air is different up there. You get treated different up there. The food's better up there. They're like, want some water, Mr. Morse? Like, it is like, it was very surreal, man.
Yeah.
So now it's like, we're kind of fucked. We're like, now it's like, next time we go to Europe, forever and ever, only doing business class. I don't care if we have to add another show to pay for it. We're doing it, man. It was so worth it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're, I think from my wife who's anxious about it, it totally is a game changer.
Yeah, so we did that, and that was a lot better. But then, just when you're there, the jet lag, you think you beat it like the first or second day, and then like it just hits you again, and you're just kind of off. It's just, it's rough, man.
That's my daughter just did that going over there, and that's the one thing I'm really militaristic about with the band. About like, guys, I need my sleep. And
for singing, it's so important, dude.
When we're doing travel, especially you guys are going to South America, there's been times in the past there where we've played a show, and they like late shows over there. Like they start you go on at midnight.
Then they want a 5 a.m. lobby call to fly.
Then they want a 5 a.m. lobby call.
Brutal.
And and doing that every day for 4 shows in a row.
Nah, dude.
And it's bad enough for me, but like the crew who has to tear down the set, and they also have to be at the next show early to set up the gear. I remember one time where my guy's like, I didn't sleep last night. I'm just running on fumes right now. You're already jet lagged. Brutal. And then you don't get to sleep at all the third night. And so I'm really hard on that tour when we do the scheduling. When we go down there, I'm like, hey, man, like I look around at all the other bands and what they're doing. And I see like, oh, Descendants are going down there, or Bad Religion is going down there, but they're taking a day off in between shows so they can get there. And why are we doing this crazy routing and trying to go 19 different places?
Killing yourself for no reason.
Yeah.
Especially at our age too. I'm not gonna lie. I was feeling my age over there and never, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So this time we're going to Chile 2 days early. We're going to chill in Chile, play the show, have a day off to fly to Brazil, play Brazil,
Smart.
fly to Curitiba, and then fly back from Curitiba to Sao Paulo on Monday and fly home. Like, that's it. Like, in and out, kind of like that. We're going to have at least 2 days off to chill and walk, get our steps in Chile. So, because we used to freaking fly overnight and play the day we land.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we just did 9 shows in a row twice in Europe in a Sprinter van, which is, it's like cash over comfort fantasy, but no more, because we spent half the money on a freaking business class, but it was worth it to like be in business class and then be trapped in a van for 9 shows and then back to business class because we don't have a bus. But I don't think I would even do business class if I got to go right into my bunk. That's a totally different thing. Right. Being a bus is so different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know,
it all sucks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember like what you're saying, like back in the day, it was different, especially when you're drinking. It's just like, just show up there, you know, land and, you know, go to the pub and stay up till 4 a.m. And then you're like, oh, then you feel like crap the first day, but then you just kind of get in this pattern. And it is so different now that we're at a certain age where I'm like, guys, you know, I got to sleep. I don't matter what it is, or where it is, but I got to get my time into sleep or else I'm cranky.
You're cranky. And also for the listeners too, like that's when you lose your voice, when you're totally exhausted. It's not, you know, because you're singing wrong. It's exhaustion. Yeah. Like you start getting that like sleepy voice. I get that too on tour. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then I need one night of sleep. And so one time I thought, well, the last tour I almost lost my voice first time in years in Belgium. And that night I maybe took melatonin. So I slept like 13 hours. I woke up the next day. I felt great because I got sleep. Yeah. Like honey, tea, all that stuff doesn't work. It's just sleep and not really talking, you know? And
not just losing your voice. It's also like, there's nothing I hate worse than seeing a singer or someone in the band having a tizzy fit on stage. It's like my mic's broken and now I'm pissed, or this fan threw something at me or what, and I'm just like, oh, what a kook. Like, God, that is so embarrassing. But there is those times out there where you're like, something will set you off. And for me, it's funny. My thing is I hate when, for some reason, somewhere in our history on a rider, it said that we wanted all bright white lights the whole time. Wow. And I really hate that because it's a lot hotter, you know, with those bright lights, and it's blinding me so I can't see anything. And I none of us ever do spotlights like following you around, but yeah, I just hate it when that thing is. So if you're cranky and something like that's happening, like your one little thing that bothers you, you come out and you're like, the lights are bright again. Brutal. It started following us around where I think like someone was punking me because all of a sudden I come out, I'd see all the other bands and they'd have blue and red lights on and everything's fine. And then we come out and it's blasted. It's like we're playing in front of a lighthouse, you know? Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. When did you ask for that originally? I think I was being punked. I think someone on in our rider, like I think let's torture him. Yeah, he's exhausted. Let's put lights in his eyes. He's not sleeping good. But yeah, the sleep is the key. I know we sound like we're complaining to listeners. We're not, because we've been doing this a really long time. But yeah, the sleep stuff's, when you travel, I think that's the work about being in a band. It's those 23 hours of like trying to be hydrated, trying to exercise, trying to stretch, eat right, sleep right. The playing's the fun part. Like, that's not the work. The work is the travel and the sleep, man. Yeah. You know, it's like just getting there, you know? Because you want to be up there and into it. I mean, it's very important for me. Like, I don't want to be absent-minded. And I remember there's been a show before where I was literally singing the words. It was every single day. And my mind was checked out. Like I was like, when I get back to the hotel, I might get a chicken sandwich, or I might, you know, do like this. About the hotel while you're on stage. Yeah, I've been there. And so you got to. There's times where I want to be in the moment. When I sing Society, I want to have this mind meld with everyone of like, this is what we're singing about, and this is an important moment, and I want not people to get their money's worth, but to know that I'm here and I'm present on stage and talking about something important. But you're delirious as well. You're exhausted. Yeah, and that's when that comes in, is when you have been it's on your 20th show in a row. Didn't you guys do some crazy number? Yeah, probably. Yeah, like, many times. I don't know why. Yeah, we've never had a day off once in Europe a whole career. So next year we're gonna have days off. You're nuts. I know. You guys are. We drove 12 hours to Punk Rock Holiday.
and got there at 10:30 and played at 11:30. It was the best show of our career, probably, because we headlined, which I didn't even know we headlined to that day.
Yeah.
But we took the wrong turn. It's a long story, but yeah, just brutalizing ourselves for no reason. It's like, it's not worth it. And then a week or two home, I'm still fucked up from it. You know what I mean? It's not worth it.
Punk Rock Holiday, we played it years ago. It's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's great fest.
But I remember it can get super hot there. Speaking, it's really hot in LA today, but this was like, I want to say like 105.
Yeah.
And we were staying in like a medieval hotel. And it was one of those typical European hotel rooms. Like, it was so small. It was tiny. It just enough room for the tiniest single like child's bed. And then we went to dinner, and the food there was really, really good. It was really great food. And then, but I remember we were all in our rooms, and it was just sweltering. I bought a tiny little fan at some drugstore that I was trying to blow on my whole body. And Randy had come up with this thing where just turn on the cold water in the bathroom, and maybe like some cold molecules will come up.
Interesting.
So he just had the water just going in all of our rooms the whole time. It was
no air conditioning and no ice in the summer.
Yeah, just yeah.
We were just there too. There's no AC. You just get little fans for your room. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just saw something online you can bring with you if there isn't AC, and you put you ask for the ice at the hotel. At least they have ice sometimes, usually in America. Yeah. You put the ice thing in your room, and that kind of helps. I don't know.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But people think it's so glamorous. Even if you are flying business class there, even if you are on a bus, you're still a human being that's trying to sleep and eat right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it still catches up with you.
Yeah.
The jet lag.
And but then there's times when you look back and go like, damn, that show was so fun. It was so cool.
Absolutely.
But
that's the best part about what we do at the shows.
Yeah.
But the other stuff can be crazy, man. It can really drain you and beat you down,
Yeah. And we've been doing it for a while. And so we got a lot coming up. And then there's rumors that this very long-running traveling tour might come back next year.
Man.
Don't say the name.
I'm not going to say the name, but it's perfect timing because there's a resurgence of all this stuff, man.
Yeah.
The way kids dress, the music they're into, like when we were young, all that stuff.
You know what? Doing the Beachside Festival, we do this festival down in Redondo. And we're talking about booking all these bands, and it's really a trip to see bands that have these peaks and valleys, of like those guys were on top of the world for a while, and then it felt like they were, had disappeared for a while. And then it was just like someone flipped a switch. I think it was when Fred started wearing the outfit and like
different characters.
Yeah, different characters and stuff. And then it was like, oh yeah, like these guys' show really goes off really hard. They're
not taking themselves too seriously either.
Yeah. And we played with them at Good Things. And just like you said, at festival down in Australia, it was massive. And the whole crowd is jumping up and down. And I was like, dude, these guys are right back on their game. And it was a trip to see, And we've at the Beachside Festival, when I'm consulting with them on booking bands, I'll constantly be telling them like a band like the Killers, for example, put out all this great music when they came out and they were huge. And then it seemed like they kind of went away for a long time. And then it was the colleges who kind of discovered Mr. Brightside again. And it would be the most requested song at every party. And then like all of a sudden they're the biggest band in the game again.
It's so great. And TikTok too brings a lot of bands back as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So we're looking at bands like Duran Duran and Tears for Fears and
we had Incubus too.
Yeah, we had Incubus. And gosh, I was just watching the other day.
Sugar Ray
they're
still killing it too. Mark's always traveling, doing shows, like stays busy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been, I love talking to him and hanging out with him. And John Fogerty played and he crushed it. Sheryl Crow crushed it. Sting crushed it. It was radical.
I wonder if it's because, is there not enough new music that kids are listening to now? Is not enough rock and roll or something that they're going back to the older stuff? It's interesting why that is.
I think
because Foo Fighters like the biggest like rock and roll bands right now still.
Yeah.
Like that kind of music. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's because these people write incredible hooks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's people want sing-along songs,
There's also nostalgia too, or bring you back to a time in your life as well.
Right. Yeah. And the fact that they're playing so good. I mean, I love seeing all the old school punk bands that are playing better than ever. When I saw them back in the day, they were all drunk and sounded not as good.
Now they're all sober.
And now they're just crushing it. Like, have you seen Circle Jerks
Oh, incredible, man.
Like they're just playing. The set list looks like 5 of ours. He has it on the stage.
And he's like 65 or something, dude.
Yeah, crazy. I think he's older than that.
And still going off on stage, man.
Yeah, and
very
just
inspirational, man.
Screaming his head off, and Joey on the drums is just a monster. And they sound hotter than ever. Yeah.
Descendants too. 7 Seconds I saw recently.
Yeah.
So tight. And back to Limp Bizkit real quick. They were so tight. It was like, it's original members too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just crazy because I had Fred on this podcast and he was on as the pool guy.
Mm-hmm.
For the listeners, you might not know that was Fred Durst, but to this day, people still hit me up about the episode. He didn't want to be on here as Fred Durst because he doesn't like Fred Durst from the past. So he came on here as a pool cleaning guy and we freestyled the whole podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And people thought it was really a pool guy.
Yeah.
So he's doing these characters now because he doesn't want to be Fred Durst anymore. Even that's who he is.
Yeah.
There's like a whole thing. Because a lot of people hated on him back in the day. I'll be honest, a lot of people hated on him in the 90s, in the Woodstock stuff, all that stuff, you know? And so, yeah, I got connected to him through a friend, and he's the awesome, humble human. So, I don't know. It's just interesting how, obviously, people change. They grow, like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's just cool to see them having this insane resurgence, man.
Yeah.
And then there's bands like Pennywise, who never went away, Rancid, who never went away, who are still killing it, have the longevity. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, we have... I think we really hit it hard for a long time. And then I think now that we're just trying as much as possible to keep it manageable.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. I think once you get to a certain age, it's the people who are still just trying to power so hard. The thing that I've seen over the years were those bands that just toured relentlessly and twice as much as we did and longer times. A lot of them have broken marriages, have broken...
Yeah, they burnt out, man. Yeah.
And
good point.
Those relationships are really hard to nurture when you're not home and your partner is raising the kids by themselves and alcohol and drugs, and they think you're just out there partying the whole time while I'm taking care of the things. The resentments form. That story right there, I've heard probably 20 times in the punk rock world.
For sure, man.
Like, you're out having fun, I'm here working, and you're partying every night, and
even though you are working and making money as well.
Yeah.
But you're out there with your friends, like being big kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's no responsibility but just playing music.
Yeah.
While your wife is holding it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would come home for like an 8 or 9 week tour when I was in Hazen Street when Max was just born. And my wife would just hand me my son. Here you go. It's your turn. Like, the night before you're playing a huge, crazy show, the next day you're like at carpool doing the dishes, cleaning the house.
Yeah.
It's just back to reality. Your wife keeps you in check,
And then you're like going like, hey, why isn't the bread where I left it? And like you're coming home and she's like, don't start with me, like,
because she's got her routine now.
I got my program and you're out on the road.
You have to get back into her routine.
Yeah, totally.
It's so crazy, man.
Counseling and therapy, and someone should write a book.
You should write another book, man.
I know. Someone just said that the other day.
I think you should.
Yeah, the other F word, the
punk rock husband book.
The empty nester years, punk rock husband.
That'd be good though, because there's like this whole stereotype of musicians, right? They party, they cheat on their wives, they're doing drugs, they're in rehab, all this stuff. Nobody talks about the relationships of musicians and having long marriages. I've married 27 years. You're like 30 years, and those talk about the wives who like hold you down so you could be a big kid and follow your dreams and continue to play music. It's crazy, man. We're really lucky, man. Really good, strong women,
Well, it's all about marrying your best friend,
Absolutely, man.
I know that there's one person that has my back no matter what. And
Same.
Is like, feels all the different things that I'm going through. And we just had a big talk about this a couple of days ago. And she was like, I'm, expressing my frustrations with a particular situation that's going on. And she's all, don't you know, I feel it too. I'm right there with you, and it's not like I'm just sitting there going, well, that sucks for you. I'm going to go, take a walk somewhere. She's like, I'm right there in it with you, and it's like having that compassion, that sense that you have someone is
amazing, man.
It's key.
She's your ride or die.
Yep.
No, we're really lucky, man. Same with my wife too. Holds me down, lets me do all this crazy, silly big kid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And still has my back and just still likes to travel with us and Yeah, we're really lucky, man. Because it's interesting how it's happened to my friends, like where like they'll meet a girl and they go, "Oh, I met you and you're in a band. I love your band." Who knows that they met him because you're in a band, but they know what you do, right? And then once you're together with that person, all of a sudden that person's quitting music and he's getting a regular job. It's like, you knew what I was doing when you met me in the first place. This is what I do. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And they can't handle the road stuff.
My wife always says, I married you when you were a janitor, or I met you when you were a janitor.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife met me before I was in the band too.
Yeah, and she knew I played music. She saw me playing in a band in a surf shop down in Manhattan Beach. I was playing in this cover band, just playing like Clash songs and new wave songs and Elvis Costello songs. We were the most weirdest band.
It's awesome.
It was called Dr. Bombay, and we would just play anything from, the Plimsolls, the Clash, and then we'd play "I Melt with You." That one song.
Great song.
Yeah, and it was always really crazy, but yeah, she knew me before I was Jim from Pennywise.
Where were you a janitor?
At my friend's mom worked at the aerospace building in El Segundo.
Okay,
this is like a top secret security clearance place. Like it's where they work on all the heavy stuff, and so. She knew they needed guys to empty the wastebaskets and clean the pissers. We had to clean the bathrooms and do all that stuff. And she's like, look, just hire my son and his surfer friends. Like, they're not going to care about anything. So they,
wow.
we had to go through the whole security clearance thing. They're like, have you ever been out of the country? And I'm like, yeah, I've been to Baja a couple times and on a surf trip. But yeah, so we did that. And it was all my friends, just all surfers. We'd all be cruising around with all the regular janitors, and we'd have Thanksgiving with them. They're the nicest people in the world.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I loved that job.
Yeah, Noodles was a janitor.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
at Dexter School or something.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
That's the second janitor to be.
Hey, it paid good.
Yeah,
it was like $11 an hour back in the day.
Wow. And how'd you meet your wife back then?
She went to my same school.
Okay.
I had seen her driving around in her 65 Mustang, and I was like, that girl is super cute and she has a nice car. That's the greatest combination. I had a Chevy Malibu.
Nice.
So we both had classic cars, and I was like, I love her. And I remember we were at and I'd seen her cruise around. She had three best friends, and they would just kind of cruise around. Back then, you just cruise around. We didn't have phones to stare at all day.
Yeah,
you just get in your car. Let's go drive somewhere, see if we can find a party.
Yeah.
And so everyone would cruise around. I'd see her cruising around with her friends. And then there's this restaurant called The Kettle that's open 24 hours. It's a really good diner. You should check it out. And everyone would go there after hours because it was open late. And we were in there with our friends, and I had been seeing her around. I knew it was her, and she walked by the table, and my other friend was wanting to meet up with her best friend. So we were kind of like waiting to drop a line on one of them. She walked by, and I'm all, hello. I gave her a quick hello, and she's all, hi. And my friend's all, dude, you just made butt, man. That was lame. Like, why'd you say hello to her? He's like, dude, that was so lame. I'm all, what? I just said hi. Can't we say hi to these girls?
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. And after that
was it.
We met up, and I found out she was taking pictures of me at this. We were at a party together, and
she was taking pictures at the party.
Like, oh, that's the guy that I like. And I was after her. She was after me. So.
With a camera, not a phone either.
Yeah. I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's amazing.
Isn't that funny? That's something I go back to look at photos, and I don't have any photos from like the 80s and early 90s.
Really?
Yeah, because I just never had a camera.
Wow.
I have like a picture of graduation and then, a couple other key things, but we just never took pictures.
And now we have a million photos on our phones.
Now people take all day long.
All day long.
Yeah.
So many photos on their phones.
Yeah. And I have a friend, if you do this, my friend has every picture he's ever taken. Like, he can be like, oh yeah, you remember Warped Tour 97? Like, we were in DC, and he can go flip, flip, flip. There it is. And I'm like,
I have that. No.
Well, how do you have all your pictures
on your phone?
Yeah.
Like thousands and thousands. I don't have that either. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Wow. So let's talk about the new, the Black Pacific album.
Yeah.
It comes out September 20th.
Yep.
And the new single's out.
Yep.
I think I'm Paranoid.
Yeah.
Saw the video yesterday. It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
This band started in 2010, right?
Yep.
You had a self-titled came out then, right? Back then.
Yep.
So why such a long gap in between? Just busy?
Well, obviously last time, when I left Pennywise.
Yeah, that's right. You did it during that time. Yeah.
And, I had kind of told them like my plans, if we were to go our separate ways, was that I'd probably put out my own record.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go and work with Havoc Television. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what I did. And, at that time, me and Alan Vega, who was in Good Guys in Black with Rick Thorne.
Yeah.
He was a great drummer. I met him on the Warped Tour, and we just started hanging.
Oh my God, I know that name. I know him too.
Yeah,
I remember from the Warped Tour too. Who was he with out there?
Good Guys in Black.
Even on the Warped Tour too?
Yep.
Okay.
And so he and I just clicked, and it's really weird on the Warped Tour because all the guys, and then this guy just started hanging, and we started talking all the time, and hey, we should try and play some music. So once I opened up and was ready to do my record, we worked on all these songs, and about half of the record that's coming out now is songs from that far ago.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then the other batch of songs were just, I have literally boxes of cassette tapes and CDs of songs I wrote. There a long stretch of time from the 90s and into 2000s. I would basically, my day was like, wake up, have some coffee, read the newspaper, and then go in, pick up my guitar and write. And
Wow.
I would write like 3 songs a day.
That's crazy. And you have all of them recorded.
I had different kinds of 4 tracks.
Yeah.
So I took a picture of it the other day. No one believes me. I have 2 cardboard boxes, and they're all full of cassette tapes, and they all have songs on them. And
that's crazy.
So some of those songs over the years, like perfect example, I wrote the song Alien when I was really depressed and sad about what happened with Jason. But I was like, this is such a sad, slow song. Like Pennywise will never want this song, but I'm going to play it for them and see if they like it. But huge chance this doesn't sound like Pennywise at all.
Yeah.
This sounds like me being bummed out in my garage.
Yeah.
And, for some reason, Fletch said, no, that's a good song. We should try and do it.
Wow.
And we ended up playing it. So there's lots of songs over the years of where I'd be like, I'm not sure if you guys are going to want this, but here it is. And for whatever reason or not, they wouldn't make it on a record. And I think I'm Paranoid was a perfect example of that.
Okay.
Of a song where I was like, I think this would be really good, and we should play this song. Didn't end up making it, but that was back in 2004 where
2004?
Yeah. So
Wow.
20 years ago. And I remember that was obviously after 9/11 and then the Iraq war. And we were first hearing about killer bees, like, this killer bees are coming up from Mexico and they can just stab you and kill you.
I remember those.
And then climate change and all this stuff. So I wrote this song of like, wow, I'm getting really paranoid that there's terrorists after me. There's abusive priests. All that whole scandal was going on. So it was just a typical, like, I've called it a panic attack at 120 beats a minute. It's just me going like, damn, there's all kinds of things coming at me. And
that's before the internet.
Yeah. And that's before the pandemic, it's before all this stuff. So I dusted that song off and I was like, I should update this to have viruses and militias and Nazis and all the stuff we're concerned about today.
Oh yeah.
And so I told the guys at some point I really think we should go and record it. People had other ideas. I also now it comes with after doing this so long, I want to produce. If I write a song and I've written the guitar, the lyrics, the melody, and everything, I want to produce it myself.
It's cool
because there's been too many times in the past when if someone else has control over it and I don't like the outcome, I get really bummed out that like, hey, I really like this song and I know how it was supposed to sound.
Yeah.
And we somehow lost it with the producer or the engineer.
Yeah.
Or someone in the band.
The initial vision of the song. Yeah.
He sees it a different way. Someone in the band might, I want to play it like this.
It's frustrating. Yeah.
So super frustrating. So I just said, hey, if you guys want to record these songs and let me produce them, great. If not, you know, I'm just going to do them, put them out on my own. And so because I had worked on every song on the album, I worked on Paranoid with Alan when we first started writing together. I was like, you know, we're going to put it out on the Black Pacific. If you guys have a problem with that, let me know. No one said anything, so here's the album.
Yeah, they're your songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to bring them to the table, and yeah.
Yeah, and I've said before, you know, I don't understand. I'd like to know how it is with your band, but I don't think that people understand that there's some bands, like let's say Offspring or NoFX, where there's one guy and he writes everything.
The singer from Offspring writes everything.
Yeah.
And he plays a lot of instruments, I heard, too.
Yeah, for sure.
On the records.
I sang backup on a couple, and I saw that. He was.
Oh, wow.
He was running the show.
But not drums, though, right? Does he play drums?
No.
Okay. Everything but drums, probably.
Yeah, but like there's certain bands that's how it is, and totally. I think that's the easiest way to go because, hey, it's on you. I think Foo Fighters are pretty much like that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and
sure.
Even though there's great songwriters in all these bands, but but when you're a band, like is your band, do you write lyrics and someone else writes music? Or?
Yep, same thing, yeah, lyrics and someone writes music. They'll put the music together, and then I'll hear it, and then think of a concept for what I want to sing the song, write about it, then I write the lyrics to the song, then Toby Morse with the melodies, yeah.
Okay.
So it's a team effort with that for sure. But for the past couple of years, it's been just like me, Adam, and Todd Friend on the last two records. Yeah, because Toby Morse didn't do the last record, first time ever. And then Chad Gilbert would produce the last three records.
Mm-hmm.
And he's great with arrangements, and like he knows the band really well. He knows what he loves and doesn't like about H2O. So he always brought like a good outside perspective on things. You know, just sometimes we say, "Nah, that's not cool." Sometimes, okay, that's a good idea. But yeah, but I always like group effort. Yeah.
Yeah. So
but every band's different, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and we stopped on the first record. I believe we put on the album like music Fletcher, lyrics Jason, or lyrics Jim, music Fletcher.
Yeah.
But we stopped doing that. So there's definitely songs like I was listening to one of our songs called "Something Wrong with Me" off Straight Ahead.
Yeah.
That is a Fletcher song. That's Pennywise sounding like Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
And it's written from his perspective of mom and dad, they're not too proud of me because, you know, and him having tattoos and them disagreeing. And it's like, dude, that is an example of Pennywise sounding like Fletcher. Alien is Pennywise sounding like Jim. Long Road, 18 Soldiers, Brag, Exaggerate, and Lie, that's Pennywise sounding like Randy.
Gotcha.
Because Randy's a songwriter too.
Awesome.
And
I didn't know that actually.
And so there's times when like a song like Every Single Day, Fletcher writes the guitar, I wrote the lyrics. And to me, I think that's like one of my favorite Pennywise songs because it's such a collaboration and it sounds like all of us.
Yeah.
You know, but so there's people out there that, oh, every song sounds the same. There's no way you can put Alien next to Fuck Authority and think that's the same band.
No.
You know, so there is different, in our band especially, there's different viewpoints, there's different styles of playing. Fletcher's guitar is really angular. That's how I like to say it. It's like it's like really aggressive and that's the vibe to his stuff. And my stuff, I grew up with Beach Boys and David Bowie and Queen, and then Cheap Trick, and then Descendants came along, Black Flag came along, and Black Flag might be the most hardcore band in the world, and Circle Jerks, those three being, you know, one of the most well-loved bands of all time.
Yeah.
But you can sing along to Jealous Again.
100%.
You can sing along to No Values.
Yeah.
And it's not just all screaming and stuff. And Descendants, they're just the Beach Boys with distorted guitars. I mean, let's be honest.
Do you like melody?
Yeah, I love melody, and that's the way that I write, and from listening to those type of bands. And I think when you hear the Black Pacific album, it's like the first song, Paranoid, sounds like it could be on a Pennywise record.
Totally.
And then by the end, you're like, that doesn't sound anything like Pennywise.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
so that's kind of how I planned it.
Yeah. Our first couple albums, we had all songs written by H2O, right? All of our names on it. And then we did the Major Label record, which for the listeners, I talk about this record too much on this freaking podcast. I didn't write one lyric or one song on the whole record. I was totally checked out on the major label thing, leaving Epitaph. Adam Blake as well. I kind of let my brother Todd Morse and Rusty Pistachio take the reins. They wrote every single song on that record. I sang on that record, but I really feel like I wasn't there mentally, like we talked about earlier. I was like just moving here from New York with my wife. We're staying at the Oakwoods Apartments, making this record with Matt Wallace. Shout out to Matt Wallace. At Rumbo Studios, and Guns N' Roses is right next to us, making Chinese Democracy.
Wow.
It was this whole weird experience. But I sang on there, but it really wasn't me. I can't explain it because I didn't write anything on the record. I didn't write one lyric. It wasn't my song. It wasn't my words. And then my vocals was so like crazy overproduced and layered and stuff. I don't regret the record, but I feel like it was produced by somebody like Chad Gilbert. It would sound more like H2O. That being said, every time I mention the record, people are like, oh my God, I love that record. That was my first H2O record. That's how I found your band. Yeah. So I can't diss it because for some people it was their first thing. They love it. So, but for me personally, yeah. So that record says, basically all songs written by Rusty and Todd Morse. That's the first time it ever happened like that.
Yeah.
And obviously because it was a major label, we had a publishing deal. Who knows where everybody's mental was at that point. We were pretty burnt from touring. So that was the one experience where it wasn't all songs written by us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
then the next one, I fully took the reins for Nothing to Prove, which was like 7 years later. And that's my most proud record. And we did that with Chad and Paul Miner. And so it's interesting how this stuff works, though.
Paul Miner, he did my record.
Yeah, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw footage of you in the studio the other day.
Yeah.
He's the best. Paul Miner Threat's the best. Shout out to Paul Miner, Buzz Bomb Studios, I think it's called.
Yeah.
He was in Death by Stereo. He engineered all the H2O records with Chad. He's done so many records, man.
Yeah.
He's incredible, man.
I didn't know him besides his name, and then I saw Russ from Good Riddance.
Oh, yeah.
Did some work with them. And so I called him up out of the blue and said, hey, man, I got some songs. I just want to come in and record them real quick with my buddy Alan. And he was so easy to work with.
Dude.
Like, we've been with some great producers and over the years and different engineers and worked with Brett. And
same.
I mean, there's a crazy story about working with Brett. You
did one record with him?
The first record, but he ended up taking his name off of it. I can't remember if it ended up going back on or not, but he was so mad that we wouldn't turn up the bass.
Yeah. And he took his name off the record?
I think he took his, I'll have to look back to see if he ended up doing it.
So you never turned the bass up?
Nope.
Wow.
It wasn't me.
Somebody's
it wasn't me.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. But
wow.
Yeah, I was pretty left with my jaw dropped wide open on that one. But I think if you listen to because there's the remix version of the first album, but if anyone has one of the things that you'll see who was right in that situation.
Okay.
But I'm not going to talk any smack. But
for the listeners and the Pennywise fans, you just got some deep dive knowledge though. And listen for that bass. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, and another one, I'm sure we've talked about it before, or Fletcher has, the Unknown Road album, the first print has spelled the name Unknown Road wrong.
Did not know that.
On the cover.
Wow.
So if anyone wants to dig around and find an Unknown Road where it's spelled Uncown Road.
How many pressed of that, do you know? So it's like
I don't know.
That's a real collector's
item. I don't know how
man.
many we printed the first time back then. We probably printed a pretty good amount until we caught it.
Was it fun working with Brett besides all the bass stuff?
I loved working with Brett.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, he was really, we've been with him through different periods of his life. I remember one period where I could tell, like, hey, something's going on different with him.
Yeah.
But no, I just have so much respect for him as a songwriter and a guy in the studio. And doing that first record was like, it was like us doing it with, Phil Spector. That's a bad example.
No, I know what you're saying, though.
It was like I knew that this guy had created the Suffer album and No Control, and I was like,
and Out Come the Wolves.
Yeah. And so he's a legend, and he's a legendary Starbolt.
Yeah, it was really great working with him too. We did our FTTW record with him in Coyote Studios in Brooklyn, Dumbo, Brooklyn, where Rancid did Life Won't Wait. So we did that in the middle of the winter. It was really fun doing that with him. But What's it like doing a record not with Pennywise? I'm sure it's night and day. Obviously,
Yeah.
you just called up Paul Miner. You went in and started recording. It wasn't like you booked the studio for 3 months or a big producer and it's just all this pressure.
No, it was in, I think 2 sessions of 3 days apiece. So it was like,
Wow.
yeah, very quick. Me and Alan are so fluent with each other.
That's cool.
I give him the guitar and the lyrics and everything on a drum machine to a click, and he'll just send it back to me, and it's exactly right. I don't think I've ever said, "Hey, could you like not hit the cymbal there?" He just does it.
That's cool, man.
And so when you have that going and you know the stuff going in, a lot of it's just one take Jake and the whole thing. So it's really easy. Yeah, it's a
When was
totally
the last Pennywise come out? How many years ago?
That was called Never Gonna Die.
That's right.
2018.
Oh, that wow! Before we did the last podcast, wow, man.
Yeah, it might even be earlier than that.
Yeah, it's been since 2015 since we dropped a record too. 9 years. You guys gonna think you're making a Pennywise record?
Never say never.
Never say never.
You know, if I've been pushing for it for a while, and I think we've just been so busy, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
You know, of like everyone's just hitting it hard.
Dude.
Yeah, we're all out there,
dude.
just like trying to make up for lost time.
So true.
Because I listened on the way up. I listened to your podcast with your boys, and since it was during COVID, it brought me back to that first show back. Do you remember your first show back?
Yes. Tell me yours first.
Okay. Mine was amazing. It was in Arizona, who was one of the first states to allow.
Me too.
Yeah.
It was the same festival.
Were we
Was
on
it
that
Punk in the
together?
Park?
Yeah. Oh, dude, we're old.
Dude, it was so hot that we played like, you guys played later when it was dark. We played when it was like 3 o'clock. It was so hot. It was so brutal, but it was so fun and really awkward.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm like, I fucking hate barricades, but I'm so happy there's a barricade today because I don't know what the fuck's happening, who's got what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, people wearing masks. It was wild, dude.
I remember that one.
It's so funny.
Was one where I said something crazy when I came out about like they were looking for a band stupid enough to play, and here we are. And then we started playing. I want to say by like the second song, I felt like, you know, they say just like riding a bike.
Yeah.
I just felt like so normal. Like nothing felt different at all. The crowd was doing what they do, and it was okay.
Part of your soul was back. Yeah,
we're back. You know, this feels normal and right. And
it was like a water park or something.
Yeah, it was some weird place. And then I remember on the last song, I jumped down to the barricade because, you know, everyone was far away, and I'm high-fiving everyone, hugging people, and then I get to the end line, I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? That was really dumb.
Well, you're so used to that connection, dude.
Yeah, I think we're all missing that. And then it was funnier.
Like even hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I know. Let's dive into some
we just didn't know.
Yeah. Because
it was kind of scary.
We were jonesing for it. But I remember I got to the last end of the line, and there's this one chick, she started screaming at me. I couldn't hear her, but she was like, "You effing son," and I don't know what it was about. Maybe she heard something I said, but she was mad as hell. And
what?
I think it was because, you guys were just talking about in the COVID podcast, and it was about everyone. I think what COVID did, it made everyone, because the fear was so there, but we had to sublimate it and be like, okay, I'm not just going to totally freak out, but I've got to hold down this primal fear that I got going on, that I might catch this thing and die.
Yeah, which you never caught, by the way. I keep saying it.
Yeah, you know, but the fear was still there. My wife,
of course, the not knowing.
My wife would. I can think back to us going to the Trader Joe's, bringing all of our stuff, wiping everything down.
Totally, take all my clothes off, them in the washing machine.
Yeah, exactly. And so we had just been through all that. And I think, but then the Floyd, the protests, and then the vaccine, and everyone was so fucking mad. And that's what I say in the song Paranoid. Everyone's really pissed. Let's just be honest. That's what's up.
And scared, man. Yeah.
And so when you direct your anger at fear and you follow it through, what do you get? You get violence, and you get animosity, you get militias, you get everything, and we all want to find a scapegoat and blame someone. So you know what? It's the trans people's fault.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's the immigrants' fault. And you know what? It's the anti-vaxxers' fault. And
it's the scientist's fault. It's everything.
Yeah, it's Fauci's
the president's
fault.
Yeah.
It's Fauci's fault. It's the president's fault. And
what a weird, negative, scary time, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's still crazy now, but it's not as now. It's a different crazy.
Yeah.
But now we're all out here playing music and the world's open, but the world's open. It's still divided and weird and all crazy too now. It's just,
because we've been pushed to the poles. We're all been pushed so far. It's like, instead of it being a long time ago when you just watch the nightly news at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, now it's this never ending news cycle, and you're just being bombarded all day long, instead of just like, I'm going to give myself half an hour to read the newspaper, or I'm going to watch the news. Now we're getting it all the time. And he said what? She said what? And now your alarms are going off all day long. Like, oh, that's alarming that Ted Cruz did and said that terrible thing. Oh, that's alarming that this person has this opinion. And that's where I think that we've got to this place where I get to the end of the line of slapping high five, and one person is really pissed off at me, screaming at me.
Like, dare you play the show that I'm at?
In the front row.
Or do you come to the barricade when I'm over here?
And sign my thing, but I'm really mad that you got the vaccine or something,
Like it's a lose-lose. You can't win. Like you can't say or do anything right or wrong. It's just a crazy, especially with social media. I think it made everything, it magnified everything like 20,000 times worse. The pandemic, now with the politics. Like you said, we used to watch the news or have dinner. My wife was saying, I said, where do you get the news from the other day? I was just asking her. She goes, I barely even watch the news. I was asking my wife, because you mentioned like drinking a coffee and then writing songs, reading the newspaper back then, Yeah. But now it's just like all day on your phone. There's all kinds of headlines and misquoted things and what's real and what's not and who said what.
Yeah.
It's so fucked. Well, our mental, it's just so bad for your mental, man.
I really think it is. And I feel bad, especially I'm bad enough. Perfect example. Just last night, I'm going on Toby's show. I want to catch up with Toby. So what do? You go look at your feed. Oh, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
Like you did with me. Oh,
I did.
You went to the surf ranch. I saw that on there. How else would you know?
It's crazy we catch up like that. But we don't call each other or just text. I love checking in with people and calling people, but used to call, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, it looks like is he really doing okay? Is he safe? Is he?
Yeah.
Because what looks like you're okay, you could be going through it as well.
Yeah.
You don't really know what people are going through.
So I was scrolling down your site, see what you're up to and who's been on the show. But I went to go on Instagram to do that. But then I saw, oh, there's a funny little news story. I want to see what that is. And then
a rabbit hole, dude.
And then the next thing, Jen's all, we're wanting to start a movie. She's all, what are you doing? I'm looking at like something about Ben Affleck and
J-Lo
breaking up. And I'm like, I was supposed to be checking up on Toby for this thing tomorrow, but I'm looking at J-Lo shit. And
isn't it crazy, man? They got us. They have us.
Yeah.
We're all addicted to it. I don't care how old you are, man.
Yeah. And
is your wife on the phone a lot? Does she check you when you're on the phone?
She's on a different program than me. What bugs me, when I wake up in the morning, I open my eyes and she's doing Wordle with her friends. At
least that's maybe better for your brain than Wordle. Yeah,
and you're socializing. But it's our business, so this is what we're doing, and we have to promote ourselves. But it is. I think I'm really concerned about a lot of things, and that's. Perfect example. I'm concerned about my daughters and their phone use, because one of my daughter works in social media and she already doesn't want to be on the phone, but now she always has to be on the phone. And I think it messes with our brain chemistry and our endorphins, because when you think of it, that little thing of looking at like J-Lo and Ben Affleck, people have loved to gossip their whole life. It's a part of society. You talk about people and say, how's this friend of ours doing? Oh, they're not doing so well. I think they might break up. Oh, damn. Well, that's my friend and I care about him. So, of course, people say gossiping is so lame, but it really is just talking. So when you put that in your phone all day long, you're going to be checking it out. And so I think that kind of little brain buzz that it gives you is now we're having these little endorphin rushes all day long. And eventually your receptors aren't able to take it up as much. So you get this depressed feeling instead. And that's where I think is happening to kids today. But
that's all they know is social media and having phones. We didn't have that. We were outside.
Yeah.
It's so different, man. We're so lucky.
Yeah.
Like, that's all my son's ever going to know is like having an iPhone, or social media, or like TikTok, or all these other things where he communicates to people on all day.
Hopefully they're going to start seeing that. I think more and more I'm starting to see that young people are saying, hey, I'm taking a phone break, or Sundays I'm taking off, or things like that. So hopefully they're starting to realize that. On the album, I have a song. My latest thing that I'm paranoid about is AI. And if anyone does follow my stories, I'm always, whenever they come out with a new picture of a robot, like with a human face, I'm like, nope. I just do #nope. Like, let's not go down this road.
I know.
Because if you can teach that thing to cook or clean, you can also teach it to kill you.
Absolutely.
And if that thing decides, someone hacks into that computer, that stainless steel Terminator looking thing, and hacks in, you know what? Go choke that guy.
Which people can do easily these days, it seems like. Also, the cars with no drivers in them.
Yeah.
That trips me out when they drive by me, man.
Yeah.
All those little robots like delivering food.
Yeah, I know. I just saw those at UCLA when I dropped my daughters off. I'm all, well, what is that little igloo cooler driving in front of my car? She goes, Dad, that's how they deliver food and snacks to us. I'm all, I've never seen that.
But the car is driving by themselves. I don't think I could ever get into Uber without a driver.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for it. I feel like that's showing my age, but it's also just like, I don't know. It's just kind of scary, man.
Well, the thing with those that you worry about, like, I get it how if we have Google Maps and whatnot, a car can follow the street maps.
Totally.
But they said as a problem, what happens when a cat jumps out in front of the Uber driver and it goes up on the curb and runs someone over because it was trying to avoid the cat?
Oh,
so
yeah. I thought about that.
Maybe the computer has to figure out how to differentiate between a cat and a human being, but especially in LA, it could be some old lady with a shopping cart that gets ran over,
Wow.
But
so the AI is tripping you out a little bit.
I'm going to go even further. The other thing is, if I went on ChatGPT with my daughter. The first thing I did, and I told it, write a Pennywise song, lyrics to a Pennywise song, and it spit it out so fast, and it was just like, today we gotta fight today for we're gonna win, and and it was just like
pretty
this.
Good.
It was like it was a trip. And
it is a trip.
And when you talk about intellectual property rights and stuff like this, what if someone, you could say, like, because this has happened already, but someone goes, you know what would be perfect for this movie I'm doing? An H2O style song. Okay. Well, they're going to catch on to that pretty quickly, that song that the computer wrote sounds like H2. So just change the algorithm to sound just enough that it doesn't sound like a H2O.
Yeah.
Your voice is a deeper voice, and just change it just enough so they can't recognize it and they can't sue us for it.
Interesting.
But this is how easy it's going to be. And the same thing goes with writing a movie. Let's write a Quentin Tarantino movie that's a little bit different, but the computer is going to eventually, after taking in all this data and watching Hitchcock films and Quentin Tarantino films, now just type in, write a better movie. Computer. You know all the techniques that these guys have used to make a great movie. So, and I think that's what you're seeing with all these strikes in Hollywood is we're at a point now where we're going, we really don't know how to deal with this. And so we're just going to have this holding period till everyone the lawyers figure it out. But how are they going to figure it out? Because if I can make a great version of you after you're dead and gone, and I can make H2O go on a virtual tour, and do your heirs, does Max and Moon get the royalties for that?
Yeah.
Or your lawyer or your manager?
That's a great point, man.
So yeah, we should be paranoid about it. I wrote a song called "Here We Come," and that's the song about, because it's like, here comes the army of AI. They're coming for us. They're coming for our jobs. They're coming for our bank accounts. They're coming for our schools.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, Adam did the same thing. Adam's like, write a New York hardcore song about the streets, about CBGBs. And then I wrote this super hard song. This is on tour he did. I was like, that was so fast.
Yeah.
It's so scary. Like, you're right. They could do anything.
Yeah.
You could like put a song out and say you could do a whole album and say H2O wrote it and put it out.
Yeah.
And it could be actually pretty cool off of AI, but then, yeah, who gets paid from that? It's interesting, yeah.
Someone's doing that the second this podcast comes out. You're going to hear it. It's going to be proud to be H2O.
And then you can just put it out and say it's new music.
Yeah.
Like, what can't you do with AI? Do you know what I mean? Like, how is it going to stop? And this more people
I know
protest against it or like strike against it. I don't know, man.
Well, then
we don't need you actors because we can just make an actor.
Yeah. And then AI will come up with a way to quell the protests, come up with new fire hoses like in the civil rights movement. We won't be able to protest. We won't be able to do anything. See, now I made you paranoid.
Yeah, remember that movie AI?
Yeah.
I like to rewatch that again, actually.
I know, right?
It's crazy some of the stuff we saw in movies that's kind of happening.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a warning,
like that. Do you see Civil War, that new movie Civil War?
Yeah.
Dude, man.
That was heavy.
That was scary, man.
I think there's like we saw that in the theater. We've been liking to go back to the theater.
I love it too. I go back. I love it too, man.
Yeah, that's the way to see a movie, especially a big one like that.
Yeah,
but it was super heavy. But I think that then I was watching some movie the other night, and I've been starting to tell like these real horror movies.
What you watch? Because I've been watching horror movies too.
Long Legs.
Long Legs. Me too. I watched Long Legs 2 days ago.
What'd you think?
Nicolas Cage was amazing.
He's a beast.
So scary. I saw people posting about it months ago that they were let down by it, so I had no expectations. Yeah, I thought it was really creepy and fun.
Yeah.
But then I watched one called Oddities or something after that, which I saw. It was incredible. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
We've been watching horror movies lately too. We never watch horror movies, but Long Legs was cool.
Yeah.
It's creepy, dude.
Yeah.
Interesting though.
Super creepy. I think there was one. What was the big one a year or so back?
Maxine?
No, I watched all those.
Those are great.
Those are fun.
Those are fun.
I like.
So you're a big horror movie guy?
I like all kinds of movies.
Okay.
I would say I'm not a horror guy, but I love it when they're campy.
Yeah.
Like Maxine was. I like when they have a little edge.
Maxine was cool.
I can't remember the name of the one. It's the one where the mom is crawling on the ceiling. The little daughter gets her inheritance. Was that one?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe, yeah.
Called? And the daughter gets decapitated at the beginning or something. That was one where I left out of going like, that like messed up my soul.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been trying to tell my daughters. Like there's certain movies that like, I love a good slasher film or whatever, but there's somewhere that you come out of it going like, that was so dark that I feel like it messed me up a little bit. And
yeah,
it sounds like your old mom giving you a warning, but it's like, that's going to give you nightmares.
How old are your daughters now?
They're 26,
oh, wow.
24, and 19.
Wow.
About to be, 20.
Wait, so how old were you when you had your first kid?
Shoot.
26 years. That's
I'm
crazy, bro.
So bad at math.
That's okay. It was a long time ago.
97.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes certain movies, can give you nightmares. Did you dream a lot? Do you have crazy dreams?
As of lately, I had. I forgot I had a crazy one the other day. It's crazy when you have a dream about somebody, but it's not a weird one. It's not sexual or nothing, but it's just like why, and you want to tell them, but you feel weird to tell them, yo, in my dream last night, because always someone like, what was I doing in your dream? But I just don't tell anybody. I forgot what it was. Some random thing, man.
Right.
Yeah. Do you dream a lot?
No, I think in different times in my life I have. I think people, when you quit pot, if you're a pot smoker, I was a pot smoker in the early 90s, but I don't smoke at all. And I had crazy vivid dreams then. I think it does mess with your brain chemistry a little bit. I think the pot that they have nowadays is so strong. I wouldn't be surprised to see that people have crazy dreams.
Oh, yeah. If I do like a melatonin or something, I might do it. If I'm like exhausted or something, yeah. But yeah, those are interesting too. Dreams that could, I don't know, become true someday. That's interesting as well.
They seem so random, but I feel
like, why am I having this dream? Is this going to happen?
Yeah. Sometimes they're really involved and crazy and don't have any meaning. And other times I think they do have some meaning.
And you think that something that happened in your past or something? Okay, let's go. Do you go to therapy? Not band therapy, but just regular therapy. You ever been to a therapist by yourself?
No.
Okay.
But I need to go to one this week, like tomorrow, maybe right after I walk out of here.
I just went to, I went for the first time this year. I went twice.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't been back. And I feel like I'm a poser because I do talk about it a lot, but it's just I don't know. I shouldn't say my life got in the way and my timing got in the way, but I enjoyed the 2 sessions I had. But nobody in my family's ever gone to therapy, and my brothers, nobody since my dad died when I was young. Yeah, we never been to it before, but I did enjoy it. You know what I mean? My wife and son were shocked because my wife's always like, you should get therapy by your dad. And I finally went there, like, oh my God, you went. So I should go back. But yeah, I enjoyed talking to somebody that wasn't my wife. It was somebody that didn't know me, and it's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
if you feel like you want to go first time ever by yourself.
As I was telling you earlier, the band has gone twice.
Yeah, and the only band I've ever heard of going to therapy was Metallica.
And
I'm sure a lot of people have been since then. Maybe they got inspired because of that documentary. But has Pennywise been going as a band for a long time?
No, we just went at a certain time where we kind of had to air some stuff out, and it was good to go in the sense of that by having a mediator there.
Yeah.
No one flies into a rage or leaves or takes off and leaves.
Totally.
And it was too easy for us because, when you spend 5 weeks on a bus together, eventually some stuff's going to come out, and
Absolutely,
and you give each other shit, and
people are drinking too sometimes.
Yeah. So getting in there and talking, I think it was productive, but then there's also times where maybe individually we need to go and talk about things that how you're relating to each other. And then maybe the therapist can say, do you understand that when you say these type of things, it's going to upset him? And when you do these type of things, it's going to upset him. Yeah. But the one thing that our therapist said to us that we haven't followed enough is she said, be assertive in your feelings. Like, don't not respond to that email.
Yeah.
When the thing comes up, don't not bring it up.
Don't tippy toe.
Just say it. If you feel it, say it, Yeah. And in the past, on my side, I've wanted to keep the peace. And I think other people too want to do that. And when you're on the road and you got to get along, how do you relate to each other? And instead of having it, you're like, man, I'm just going to go to the hotel and forget about it and suck it up.
Be by myself. Yeah.
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 I'm just going to suck it up and
keep it inside.
Yeah. But then that lets it out in other places. Then
Absolutely.
you have some blowout, and then some blowout fight where you're just like, well, yeah, that one time you ate my chicken sandwich and I was pissed. And then, and then it's these little.
We're holding things inside, man.
Yeah. And then the big problem is still there,
Yeah, it means you guys love each other. The fact you take time to go do that and care about the band and staying together as a band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting when you don't go to therapy because of your marriage. You go to therapy because of the band you're in. It's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, everything's good at home, but the band thing's kind of crazy. But it's brothers. It's a brotherhood. It's like you guys been doing this so long, man.
Yeah.
There's so many egos and personalities and people going through sobriety and not sober. There's so many different moving parts, man.
Well,
but it all works when you're on stage. It all works when you're playing these songs together.
Yeah, well, sometimes it doesn't work there either. Someone will be like, I don't want to play that song. We always play that song,
Yeah, who writes the set list?
Oh, we battle over it.
Okay.
The text war will start any minute now because we got the drop kick thing, and we always play that. We gotta change up the set, man. Well, I can't play that song anymore.
Who likes to change up? Who does? Do you like changing it up? Or are you happy with?
No, I want to change it up.
Yeah, because you don't go to the same town, same city, and play the same songs.
And then what happens?
Obviously, you can never not play Broham.
Yeah.
Has that happened ever and not play it?
No.
Wow, that's cool.
That every day.
Yeah, we have a song like that. Not like that, but a song we never take out. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a certain thing people they want to hear their favorite songs. And
you can't please everybody either.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss something.
Yeah.
Play that deep cut.
I'll never forget. I went and saw Social Distortion, one of my favorite bands. I have a Social D cover band. You guys toured with them.
Love them.
Yeah, and they played at the House of Blues one time.
And when they played 20 nights in a row.
Yeah, something like that. But they played and I didn't recognize. They didn't play a lot of the hits, and I was like, man, they sound great and everything's great, but where's Story of My Life and where's Ball and Chain and all this stuff? And then
none of those.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, the last half of the set, they started just breaking out all the hits, and I was like, okay, And so I'm sure there are some people, and maybe someone got to the band and said, dude, song 12, track 3 of the third album. If I don't hear that song, I'm going to not be your fan anymore. And you
Yeah.
do get people like that. They're like,
You do.
they want to hear the deep cuts, and
That's when you do this a deep cut show.
yeah,
You do a B-side show.
yeah, no one will show for that show.
I saw The Cure recently too. They did the same thing. They played all these new songs, all this shit I never heard, and then they came back for the encore and did all the hits.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
But Social Distortion have so many hits, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a
Angels
cover band.
Sing. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. We played,
You doing the Angels Sing?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I love Highway 101.
What's that from? What album? Is it a later album?
Yeah. It's a later album.
Yeah.
Really good song.
We did the White Light, White Heat, White Trash tour with them. It was so sick, man.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Shout out to Mike Ness, who just went through it too. It's great to see him out there playing with Bad Religion.
Yeah.
And back singing again. That was scary too. And that was a scary watching him go through that.
Yeah.
Especially with like your throat and your voice, because that's what he does,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that band, dude.
Yeah.
Never get bored of them.
No, I know. And all those bands are killing it. Circle Jerks and Descendants going out together. Bad Religion, Social Distortion.
I know.
I'm like,
man.
what about us, man? Take us out.
You,
No one wants to deal with
you're doing the drop kicks. That's
no
a good
one
one
wants to deal
too.
with our shit. Drop kicks are definitely put up with our crap.
When's that time you guys headline the U.S.? Like the whole. Do you
Been
do?
a long time.
Yeah. Do bands really tour the whole U.S. anymore? Or they just do like certain areas? You think? Nobody's
Yeah.
you guys aren't doing a 6-week tour anymore.
Well, I've always said we're popular. Our band came up with surfers and skaters and the whole action sports scene. So there ain't no surfers in Oklahoma, and
True.
So there's not that many Pennywise fans out there, and so we know where in the country we have the most fans, and it's going to usually be California, up the coast, Pacific coast, down the East Coast to Florida, especially.
Yeah.
And places where there's surfers, that's where we came up. And then, other parts of the world, and Australia is great for us. So it's like we hit those places. But for me, especially the days of trying to break markets are
dude.
long gone.
Yeah, you just do. You're in for the love of the game. You love doing it. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what you do. Like, you're not trying to have a hit song or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you guys are still longevity, and you still have a career, and people still love you. Still play great shows.
Yeah.
There's new people getting into you guys every day. I'm sure young people seeing you for the first time, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Especially in 2024, it's wild when you get like, "Oh, it's my first time at your show." I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah. I think one thing for us, the bro hymn thing has just really carried us because of all the stadiums that are playing it. Like, I get it all the time. The Chargers are playing it now.
Dude.
Jacksonville is playing it. Like, all these different people are playing bro hymn at sports stadiums. And
so cool.
My daughter's boyfriend, their family are, you're guys in a band and all this stuff. So they were really stoked that her dad was in this band. And then lately they've been texting me going like, our German cousins are huge fans of you guys. They want some shirts and they want to come to the show. And
that's so cool.
because their soccer team is your bro hymn chant.
Dude,
And
have you been to a game where they played it yet?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a trip. And
That must be
sitting
cool.
in the crowd and not one. I'm like, right here, man.
Nobody knows another Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Jim's name on there.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
I'm gonna have to hit up the Dodgers or the Lakers or someone. I want one of my core teams to play it.
Yeah.
It's always been other teams.
But when they play that goes to royalties, right? Playing your song, obviously.
No.
It doesn't go through the
We
label.
don't
and
make a dime. I think we make 17 cents. Let me.
even if they play like a hockey game or a football game, none of that stuff.
17 cents is the number I heard.
They play House of Pain all the time at those games too, jump around.
I know.
So bands aren't getting residuals from that.
No.
It's basically you're playing it. It's like playing your song in a club. It's playing your song at an outdoor arena. It's just playing it over the loudspeaker.
It's just like,
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, when I think they're all very careful of that dividing line to when is us just playing on the loudspeaker and when is us using it in promotion.
Or if it's live on TV though, it's different too though.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. But
wow,
that song took on a
life of its own.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's safe to say it's your biggest song.
Yeah.
And did you know when you first came out with it and it first played it?
No,
or first?
It was an afterthought on the album that we had recorded the whole record and Fletcher just had the melody and then Jason wrote the lyrics about friends of ours.
Yeah.
that had passed away, and yeah, it was like, oh, like this is kind of cool. Like at the end, like we're doing the whoa 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 thing. Okay, never ever thought it would be this. No way,
dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What was your last real job? Was it a janitor?
No, I was working at an advertising agency in Santa Monica and trying to
Just a normal job?
Yeah, just trying to. I wanted to be like the guy in Bewitched, the Darren that doing commercials, like coming up with funny commercials.
That's so cool.
I was trying to be a copywriter, and I had just taken a class, and I won a LA Creative Award, which
wow.
I did an ad for More Pay for Teachers that said the school board is looking for a math teacher who's not too good with numbers.
Wow.
And so,
cool.
Yeah, I was really stoked on that, and everything was going. But at night, I was playing in Pennywise. So
crazy, man.
I think I was living a double life, and then it was like, hey,
Clark Kent.
Band's doing pretty good. Maybe we should go to Europe. And I had another job, and right when I was just about to get called out because I never went to work, I was an outside salesman. And I knew my sales report was going to be terrible because I hadn't been doing my job. And he's like, Jim, I got to talk to you. Like, come, you need to have a meeting. I'm like, I'm going to Europe with my band. I'm out.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Quit on the spot.
Have you used anything from your English degree from UCLA in your life, you think? Some of those skills?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Obviously writing and stuff.
My Thoreau tattoo is Henry David Thoreau wrote Walden, and Ralph Waldo Emerson were the two original punk rock philosophers, in my opinion. They were
wow.
And I had a class at UCLA that turned me on to transcendentalism, which is just the idea of like you don't follow fashion. You shouldn't follow any other's way of thinking but your own. It was self-reliance. I mean, Emerson wrote the book,
that is punk,
the essay, Self-Reliance, so relying on yourself. And not the fashions of the day. And I mean, what is punk rock? But trying to put that out of like, I don't care what you think of me. I am who I am.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome.
And being creative with it, and so they totally changed my way of looking at the world. And
more than punk did.
Yeah. And I had a teacher at El Camino City College who took an interest in me, and that helped out a lot too. So teachers. That's cool. And schooling helped a lot.
And your kids are going to the same school?
Yeah, my youngest is at UCLA.
That's awesome, man.
We were on tour with, or doing a show with Rise Against. We did a few shows with them at the end of COVID, and
he just got his degree too, right?
Yeah.
Tim, yeah.
It was funny. Everyone got COVID on that tour. Like
God.
They passed it around like crazy. I was on a plane with them. He was sitting next to Chris Pooh. Chris Pooh had it, didn't know it, gave it to Tim on the plane. And then we had to cancel a show. Then we played a makeup show in a bar just so we could not have to miss so many shows. Randy got COVID at that show because it was a sweaty hot club.
Dude, somehow you were Superman. That's crazy.
But I mean, so we were playing before at, you guys ever play the Rave in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Next to the Dahmer Hotel?
Dude, the crazy basement with the pool, like the haunted pool.
Yeah. They put me in his room.
What?
I can't remember everything.
That room's still open to be rented? That's crazy.
I think they think the bands want to be in that room, but I got in that room and I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
No way,
The sink was dripping like a horror film, and I'm like, this room is giving me the heebie-jeebies big time. I opened up my computer, put it in. Yep, I'm in the room. Closed the computer, got my backpack, went downstairs. I want a new room right now.
Oh, new hotel. That's scary, man. That's crazy as you could still be in that room.
Yeah. But anyways, I was, we were playing with Rise Again at the Rave, and I remember she FaceTimed me and because she was deciding between Georgetown, UCLA, and Michigan. And she knew that I went to UCLA and I really wanted it, but I totally did not pressure her.
Absolutely, yeah.
But she FaceTimed me and said, I just want to know I committed to UCLA. And literally, I'm standing in that parking lot.
Cry, bro.
The guys, I started bawling and screaming at the same time. Yes, fuck yes, fuck yes. And the guys from Rise and different band members like, what's he on? I'm just like, fuck you. Crying at the same time. And they're
Beautiful,
like,
man.
they were, are you okay? And I'm like, my daughter just got into UCLA. And
So proud, man.
yeah, super stoked.
That's awesome, man. So you raised some good girls, man. You did good, man.
You know, you did too, man.
Thank you, man.
I can't wait for Max to go to the surf ranch. That's
Oh
what
my
I'm
God,
on
yeah.
about.
Yeah, you just at Kelly's surf ranch, yeah.
Kelly
Slater's
Slater's
surf ranch, yeah. I saw the videos on Instagram. You're ripping. You've been
Yeah.
surfing your whole life?
Yeah, I was surfing really tentatively. I have to give that caveat out there because it was a new experience.
It's different than the ocean, obviously.
And we're used to surfing the South Bay, and the waves are really short and it's really bouncy. This is a perfect wave. And I was like feeling it out. It's kind of like, I'm sure you skate, you know, riding a new bowl or a new park.
Yeah.
You don't know where all the bumps and hits are going until you really get it wired.
A street course or something, yeah.
And so, but the experience, we went with a bunch of music industry people and surf industry people, Paul Gomez and
Awesome, man.
Rick DeVoe.
Rick DeVoe.
Yeah.
My son ran into Rick DeVoe in Mexico or somewhere. No, I'm sorry, Texas at the Waco pool.
Yeah.
The Waco wave pool out there, yeah. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
You've been surfing since you were young?
Yeah. Since you wouldn't know it from how good I am, but I have been. I grew up at the beach.
You just love it, dude.
Yeah. I grew up at the beach. My babysitter, when we were like 5, 6 years old, would take us to the beach every day while my parents were working and stuff. And then just, you know, every 3 square meals a day on the beach when we were like surf croms, you know, we would just eat at this place called Mighty Mart and Bocato's Deli. It's still there. But you just basically like go down in the morning and just eat crap, you know, like I'm going to have some Mike and Ike's for breakfast.
Mike and Ike's, dude.
You know, and some gum.
Like burn it off in the ocean.
Yeah, and licorice, and then get a deli sandwich from Bocato's, you know.
So cool.
But yeah, we were very lucky to live where we do. And it's funny when I come out here and different places, we call it the bubble down there because none of us leave our little area out there. And I would go to Hollywood and go to like these dance clubs. Everyone knows from the South Bay, there's this place called the Odyssey that played like Haircut 100 and Human League and Duran, and it was like
you go there and dance?
But punkers would go there too, and the punkers would kind of like, you know, you can't dance if you're punk, but they knew that like it was girls and guys there, and it was fun as
Stand against the wall,
like you'd go to a circle jerk show, but you'd go to the Odyssey show to meet girls and stuff because
wow,
you know, it's all dudes at the other place. But
true,
and it was just a really fun time to, you know, have this weird experience of, you know, living in a surf town, but then coming out here was like going into a whole different place.
Whole different world, man. Leaving
know?
your bubble, yeah.
And I've said before, I've played so many downtowns and so many cities that I feel like I know them just as well as LA. I only came out here just to go to clubs or go to shows or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool. My daughter now lived out here. She lived right off Melrose, and now she lives in Brentwood. But I'm just getting to see the old haunts.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about that. About the apartment. Yeah. She was in Brentwood too?
Yeah.
Wait, she saw me at Green Table.
Yeah.
She saw your picture there or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That's
what
my
is that
spot.
place?
It's a vegan spot down the street. She was there, and she sent Jim a picture of me. Like, do you know this guy or something like that? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
It was tattoo.
Looks like someone that you would know.
That's so random, man.
Yeah. She's a lot of my kids are pretty much my all of them are vegetarian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Just by choice?
Yeah.
Is your wife vegetarian?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah. We just at Beach Life we just ordered a seafood restaurant. It's called Beach Life Grotto because we're doing all kinds of things underneath the Beach Life name. And so the guy runs it, Alan Sanford. He's in the restaurant business, so he's always wanted to open like a really nice seafood restaurant. And she went down there, and they're not only like vegetarian, they're like, we don't like seeing
hardcore.
Yeah, like
you got some vegan options at the Beach Life though.
Yeah, we do
get
for
some,
sure.
Man.
We got to get them, and we have some at the Grotto. And
so we're not.
She was down there, and I'm just eating this lobster that's been cut in half.
She's like, nah, Dad.
Yeah, I'm never coming back.
So we need some vegan options out. That'd be cool.
Yeah, they've got a killer mushroom pasta that she said it was like the best I've ever had.
Do you have a whole new perspective and respect for Kevin Lyman, knowing what goes behind a festival since you've been doing your own?
Oh yeah.
And it's not punk rock; it's just like real adult
Oh yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Normal music.
You know, you know how it is. Like the Warped Tour was a different type of thing. That if you put Coachella and Warped Tour, two places I've been a lot, it's like
Night and day,
Coachella
man.
is really nice, man. Everyone's got their own trailer and the little grass and you know, Warped Tour was core, man. It was like,
pretty core, man.
it's like get up there and play and don't be late, and you know, it was boot camp.
You play when we tell you play.
Yeah.
Whatever stage we tell you to play on, didn't matter
Yeah.
how big you were. Here's your food. It's
Yeah.
hot as hell.
Yeah.
You're playing at a flatbed truck.
Parking lot at some stadium, you know, and
But it was so good. It just helped. That could make or break a band.
yeah,
Literally, man. And it
exactly.
did.
And so with Beach Life, I've been kind of erring on the side of the artist to be like, hey man, make sure these and the crew of like one of the first years, the second year we did it, we were just having organizational problems and getting things together on time with the people helping out. And I got really pissed because I was like, man, there's no waters here. Like these people are getting up at 6 a.m. They're building the stages, and then the crew guys are coming in, and you got to have water, and you got to have catering. You got to have some food for these people. You need some coffee.
Yeah.
You know, we were kind of ragtagging the whole thing, and we've got Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys and these huge stars that expect a level of treatment. And here I am, the Warped Tour guy, telling them like, my artists better have their green M&Ms.
Because you know what you want too when you go
Yeah.
play shows. Yeah.
And so,
Do they know you're from Pennywise or know anything about you?
you know, if it's 311, you know, they
Yeah.
know the shit out of me. But
other people really don't. You just like,
no, I have no
wow.
idea. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Which is probably better. Probably
Yeah.
better, because they'll be like, here's some stories, and like, is this guy going to throw up on me, or what's he going to do? But
it's a cool world you're in. That's cool you're doing that.
you know, there's been some killer performances, and Weezer.
Oh, yeah.
And Jane's Addiction, and what was cool is the people like Perry from Jane's Addiction telling stories about that. They like, I didn't know this. I lived here in the South Bay. I worked at Chart House as a waiter.
No
And
way.
Everyone tripped on that because Chart House that's the restaurant that you go to when you graduate, and you know, you get a steak
Okay.
dinner or a nice dinner with your family.
Yeah.
And to think that Perry was down there, we just didn't know it, is a trip.
That's
you know?
crazy.
And then Sheryl Crow said the same thing. And she said, I lived here and I'd go to El Gringo for Mexican food. And like, everyone was just like, all these great people have lived in the South Bay. We never knew it.
It's awesome, man. So you're still in the same area
Yeah. Yeah.
your whole life.
I'm in the house now that I grew up in Manhattan Beach by Pollywog Park, where Black Flag played the Secret show. And then I was raised in Hermosa Beach and was working across the street from Black Flag's practice place. And now I'm back in that house that I was born into, and we built a house big enough for our kids there.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Never lived really anywhere else. Could live anywhere else but California, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a song on my new Black Pacific record that is called Float Away, where I wrote the song about my desire to just build a raft, and we'll tie ourselves to the mast, and I'm going to float away with you. Like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And it's say, I don't care where it is. We can go to Mexico or Timbuktu or Canada. Let's go somewhere. And the chorus is, how did we get so fucking bored? And that's talking about the phones. And and it says, I'm tired of staring at my phone. Like, let's me and you. So it's like my first romantic song to my wife.
It's nice.
And it says, I don't care where it is as long as I'm with you. That's all that matters. But let's you and I get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know, because as much as I love my hometown and California and everything, just like, you know, from traveling the world, you see these places where the people are so nice and so cool.
So chill.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I remember I was in a country place in Germany somewhere in this quietest neighborhood, and just looking at these people and like, they ain't worried about no militias or
They're not on social media right now.
Or they're not on social media. She's just in her tomato garden. Looks like she's having a nice time.
They got it figured out too. They take not the siesta, but the end, like the part of the day, everything closes down, so everybody rests.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Stuff closes early. Yeah, dude. And
Their
like,
pace of life is so much slower, and I think that's why you see that with people of going like at my age, of they start going like, man, I want to slow it down a little bit because it's going so fast. And then like
it is, man.
Coming full circle. I was saying, like, walking through my daughter's room last night and seeing 3 empty bedrooms, I'm starting to go, wow, that happened so quick. And then, you know, God bless them, they went through COVID right at the time when they're graduating from school.
Yeah, same with my son too. Yeah.
You know, it was such a heavy time, and they're so resilient that they made it through that whole thing. We all did.
Yeah.
Of like, I think people are yearning for, they want some of the chaos to slow down, you know?
It's a lot, man.
Yeah.
And you could do that now too, because you have empty nest, so you could actually go wherever you want to go, but you won't. You love California, plus you'd be close to your family.
Yeah,
so.
I know, right? Exactly.
But this year went by so fast. I can't believe how fast. This every month, I'm like, this is already this month of this year. It went by so fast. I don't know if it's us because we're older. I don't know if the young kids see it or feel it, but everybody talks like, yeah, this year went by so fast, man.
Yeah.
Everything's flying by, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy when you get older, man. It's like,
yeah,
I want to be here forever, man. I know it's not reality, but like,
I saw the first review of the album, and it said on there, oh, everyone thinks that, you know, it's just going to be some old punk rock turning 60 complaining about the world. And luckily he went on to say that it's a great record.
Yeah.
But just that first line, I just went, oh, ow.
Yeah.
Ow, that kind of hurt. Like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, am that old guy turning 60 complaining about the world? I guess I am a little bit, but I've always been that way, and I think all of us have been since the first song that Jason wrote, or the first song on our first album was called Wouldn't It Be Nice? It was like, wouldn't it be nice if we can greet each other without a glare, but with a smile? Like, he definitely, he was the one that instilled the PMA, and
it's awesome,
a lot of times I have to go back to that and regroup with it and remind myself of that, you know, that's the world where when we complain about a song is we're saying, I know that regular people on the street can get along. I can get along with any of my neighbors, but how did we get to this spot where now my new neighbors that moved in are like mad at me because they think that I'm on a different side from them?
Yeah.
And we've lost that humanity, and so it's like I have to remember that, to keep trying with people and not, you know, get into that cocoon where like, I'm not even going to go outside because I don't want to be hated on because I think it's okay if gay people get married or,
totally,
you know, or something like that, you know, obviously everything that's going on in the world. So I guess I am an old guy complaining about the world and wishing it could be better, but it's,
at least you're singing about it and talking about it.
At least you can,
be inspired by it in some way.
It's like they said on the American Bandstand, it's got a good beat and you can dance to it.
Do you think writing's been therapeutic for you too?
Yeah. You know, it's, I think that's what helps me get it out, is like when you can vent about it a little bit.
Totally.
But I need to go on a news fast. I watch too much news. I take it all in. I read the newspaper. And
That's cool to read the newspaper though.
Yeah.
It's very old school.
Yeah, I know, right? Every day my wife tells me not to, but look at this. Can you believe this is happening? Oh, look at this. This is happening.
Do you stress out about it stuff a lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's hard because we stress about things we have no control over too. Obviously we can vote, we can do all that stuff, but other things in general, like just not trying to stress about things we have no control over, the stuff in the future. It's hard, man, because you care, because you have kids. I have a kid in this world too. And it's like, it's a scary place, you know?
Well, just like we were talking about with Max earlier, you know, he's about to go to the surf ranch, and there are still so many beautiful things in the world. Like, he's about to experience the coolest thing ever. So I was just talking to my friend about that. And, because when I came, a lot of my best friends are surfers, and when I came back, they were all really excited that I was going. A couple of them had gone already, and they're like giving me pointers like I was doing to Max earlier.
Yeah.
Like, you got to paddle towards the tower and make sure you don't get too close to the wall, and you know, how the wave's going to work. And when I came back, and that stoke of riding the wave was like so huge. Like, I felt like my heart, you know, got bigger. Like, wow, like this is what life is all about.
Yeah, I feel alive. Yeah.
And I wanted to like go back and come back and spread the word to everyone. And my family and everyone is like, it's a surfer word that we used growing up is finding your stoke. Like, what is something that stokes you? Like, my one daughter loves scary rides, roller coasters.
I can't do it. Respect. I can't do it though. So scared of that.
She loves those, and she would drag me out to Magic Mountain, and we would go on these rides.
Did you like them too?
I liked
had to because your dad.
I liked them because she loved them.
Okay, that's cool.
But there's a couple of those. If you don't like those, don't ever go to Magic Mountain because there's the newest rides are crazy, and they're not only crazy fast, like the G forces are ripping your face back, but you're also looking down and you're like, I'm like 20 stories in the air right now, and some kid is pressing a button when like, all right. The collar comes down, the kid presses a button, like maybe he gets drunk or maybe he's smoked his vape and he actually hits the button when I'm up there and I go launching out.
Yeah, dude.
But anyways, she loved playing soccer. My one daughter was in choir. Another one was dance.
It's cool.
And we can't all be news and work. You know, you gotta go and do things consistently.
Get out of the house.
That give you that feeling. And if it's just a walk, I mean, Thoreau wrote a essay called Walking. I'm going to give it to you. Buy it for you and give it to you because he talks about that. He's obviously in Concord in the forests and stuff. But taking in nature, that's something that our body really, really needs. Of just going through your neighborhood and seeing different things in real life.
What about grounding stuff? You ever done that?
Yeah. Well, I'm grounding right now.
Oh, yeah. I want to do it. I've never done it before. I'm going to start.
Actually, Stella just took over my mat. But
I'm going to start doing grounding in my backyard. I think it's supposed to be really good for you. I don't know.
My friend was doing that. We were out we were grabbing a coffee. And he was barefoot, and I'm like, dude, what are you barefoot, man? He's all grounding, dude, grounding. And that's the first thing I heard about it. So
it's like just go out in your yard, drink your coffee, walk around barefoot and stuff.
Yeah.
People think it's some hippy dippy shit, but I also heard it's really good for you, man.
Yeah.
Connecting with the earth and stuff.
Yeah. And it is. I mean, because like we're talking about the synthetic world
that
we're so a part of the digital world.
Yeah.
I feel like that's us trying to pull ourselves back from that ledge of going like, hey, man, walk around barefoot, go take a walk and just look at stuff. Like put that thing down.
I know, man. Do you ever check your hours on your phone?
Oh,
like
every once in a while I get an alert and it says like, you were on for 6 hours a day.
Bro. Are you taking walks? Are you exercising and stuff too?
Oh yeah. I run on the beach.
That's cool.
Me and my wife take long walks. So yeah.
It's like some old people shit. Me and my wife been taking walks too at night. Like you see old people doing that.
Yeah.
Like this is what we're doing. We're taking night walks.
Yeah.
It's so true because I've always seen people growing up always taking their walks, and I don't know. It's really good for you, man. I did a lot of research on the walking stuff. It's really good, man.
Yeah. It's just getting the heart rate up and then, disconnecting for a bit. I love walking around my neighborhood. We have a neighborhood a lot like yours. And just, I do nighttime walks. You're just kind of seeing everyone's in their pad. Everything's happy. There's no stress.
I love walking by people. Just want to see them watching TV, eating dinner and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like that.
Yeah. Well, that's what Thoreau said is like, getting out there and doing something.
You eat pretty good too. You have a good diet?
My wife makes me have a great diet.
Okay, cool.
But there's times where I have to break loose. And
you're on tour. It's really hard
get
too.
My In-N-Out burger.
When you're on tour, it's hard too.
Oh my God, it's so hard.
It's so brutal.
Fletcher and Randy and our tour manager love to go to restaurants. Like they go out
sit down,
the whole thing. I don't have the patience for it.
Are they foodies? Like they love food?
They just want to eat.
Yeah.
They're foodies.
Not like going to some bougie spots.
No, they are.
Okay.
Definitely. If they go to France, they're at La Lippe and they're at they're at Le Dumago and all these places. There's a couple spots where I'll go. I trip out on Australia. Australia has really good food, really good coffee shops and stuff.
You're a big coffee guy.
Yeah, and they were big on veganism and vegetarianism. It seems like to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Australia's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you looking for like the best coffee in each town?
Yeah. I got to get.
That's what Rusty does. He looks at the whole tour is already ready for it, man.
Yeah.
You walk like 10 miles for coffee, dude.
Especially what we don't have here in LA that they have everywhere in the world, it seems like, is the cool small little coffee shop. They've just got a couple croissants and a couple, a little things to eat. But
yeah.
it's like we either have to have a giant supermarket deli, crazy Starbucks or whatever.
It's true, man.
I love, like, every 5 feet in Australia, there's a tiny little coffee spot. Just go in there, walk up to the stand, grab your coffee, and go. It's
nice, man.
How
many coffees a day you doing?
I just do 2 big ones
in the morning.
Yeah, and then I'm jamming.
Do you sleep good at night?
I used to have bad insomnia, but I think especially I go through bouts of drinking, not drinking. When I'm not drinking, I sleep way better.
Yeah, we know we sleep on planes, but
it's
when you're home, you get like 7-8 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
Are you early bird? Wake up super early?
I'm a night owl.
That's what my wife is too. I go to bed way before her. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's a battle every night. Jennifer's like, come to bed when I go to bed.
What time did you go to bed last night? 12.
We went to bed early. We watched the movie and we were in bed by 11:30.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But then tomorrow night I'll stay up till 2 a.m.
And what time are you waking up?
And then that night I'll wake up at 9.
That's good. Yeah.
But
it's so
how about
cool.
you? How about you?
Same as you. Yeah. I wake up like 8 or 9. Yeah. 8:39. But my wife goes to bed like 2 or 3. It's like, and then sometimes I'll feel guilty. And I'll wake up and go sit on the couch while she's watching something because I'm not hanging out with her because it's all quiet in here. But yeah, I can't do that, man. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get up early. I'm trying to walk every day,
Yeah.
It's so good, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you an optimist or pessimist? I think I asked you last time. Let's see if you still are. One or the other.
Oh man, lately I've been an optimist who's pessimistic.
That's a good one.
I'm hopeful that we're gonna get to a place where we can start communicating better. I'm hoping that will happen as a society.
Yeah.
I think I did something that was it wasn't taken very well when the Ukraine war was raging. Not that it still isn't, but and I asked ChatGPT, how do we end the cycle of war and violence that's plagued mankind? What are some things that we can do? And it spit out the answers right there.
Whoa.
And I posted it because I wanted to start the communication, like people talking about it, and it gave some very thoughtful answers. And they were the obvious ones of the things that we should be doing. And it did say just that improving communication and especially in the media, disinformation,
Absolutely.
all these different things. We need to reduce all this stuff. But some people really got upset by that. Like, you can't ask a computer how we're going to end the war. It's like, well, why not get the conversation started of what are some things we really can do? And because we don't seem to be solving it, the thing in what's going on in Gaza right now, it's so bad that we can't even talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because right away you come down on one side or the other when people feel so strongly about it. It's like it's a literal and figurative minefield of, like, if you say the wrong thing that you're pro-Palestine or you're pro-Israel or you feel like Hamas should be blamed for this or this person, and is the U.S. supporting them? And we have to come to a place where we start going, hey, no one wants this.
Nobody wants nobody being killed.
Yeah.
No war. Yeah, man.
And so I think maybe it does take AI to be like, how can we convince human beings to stop being so fucking stupid?
Yeah.
My dad was a Fox News watching, hated Hillary Clinton before he passed. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
And I remember I talked to him one day, and I love him. My dad was very supportive, great guy.
Yeah.
But he just happened to go to that side, and
that's the thing. You still loved him. He was your dad.
Yeah,
you
of course.
Agree with everything, but he's your fucking dad.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like.
But I told him one day we were driving home from the doctor appointment, and he would just be watching Fox News, and I'm like, Dad, your granddaughter just got an A on her math test, and The other one just scored 5 goals in their soccer game the other day, and you're pissed off about Hillary Clinton right now. Like,
Yeah.
you're missing out on your golden years of your grandkids, and you're so mad about this stuff. Like just promise me, just turn it off, just leave it alone for a while. And he would go and do it, and then he'd be back on the. I came around the corner one time. He had the middle finger on the screen, on Hillary Clinton's face. And
Oh my goodness,
Dad, turn that thing off.
So he was watching the news and you reading the news.
Yeah, I know. I think I really miss the days of when it was just the local news.
The last thing we'll talk about before we go is 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
Punk rock paintbrushes, which I think is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You've had some stuff in there.
Yeah.
I've done something there before. And then also the Punk Rock Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to that yet? Because I haven't yet.
Yeah, me neither. So
I'm due for a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been asking me to do a tour. I want to go and be a part of it. I heard it's awesome.
Yeah, I've heard it's nothing but awesome. The whole history is, I heard Fat Mike was doing it.
Same.
It sounded like that was really cool. Then all of a sudden I heard Fletcher was involved, and then and they were talking about investors and different things like that, and
a lot of people invested. I know. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I've got kids in college and stuff like that, and I try not to invest in too many things with my guitar player to keep things peaceful.
Yeah.
And then it was like the craziest thing. Did you hear he's taking your guys' practice space?
Oh, that's right. Practice space in there. Yeah.
And set up the thing in there. So I was like, what?
Did he literally take it?
He just rebuilt it.
Okay, yeah. It's so cool.
The carpet from the walls. So if anyone goes there, don't get too close to the carpet.
It's the real carpet from rehearsing.
Byron spits like a motherfucker.
So that's the original, supposed to be the practice space for Pennywise.
Stella just let fly.
Oh shit. So have you ever been there yet to see it in real life?
I haven't been there, but no, I want to check it out.
I want to go too.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think it's good that someone's finally done it.
And the punk rock paintbrushes too.
Yeah. Punk rock paintbrushes is Emily started it.
Yep.
Started with Tim from Rise Against, and she's just been really supportive of me, and we all want to support her. I did some lyric art, and I did some acoustic stuff, and I think that's really fun. I think it's Tim from Rancid.
Yeah, he did some shit. Yeah.
And Jason from Authority Zero, and Matt does artwork, like some really amazing artists. So I started out just doing some lyric stuff, but I definitely want to expand and keep doing more of that stuff.
It's cool.
And then I think they had a big storm in Denver, and she lost a lot of artwork.
Oh, really?
So I can't tell anyone about it yet, but they're planning a very secret show with a lot of famous people that is going to be awesome, and you should be.
Oh, I've already gotten invited to, but I'm not going to be in town. I can't mention it. I already got an email about it, but I'm not going to be here.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be in Chile though, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's going to be really cool. Black Pacific, dude. I'm stoked. And I think there should be like a follow up to the other F word, and also Punk Rock Husband book.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome, man.
Nice. Well, you can ghostwrite it with me.
Yeah, I will. But the other F word was great. Such a great doc, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's 2010, right? Wow.
Yeah.
Would you ever do another documentary? Would there ever be a Pennywise doc?
I tried to do one. It's a sad story. We were doing one on the whole South Bay punk scene, and it was with our favorite shoe company, who I love so much, but it fell out of bed for various reasons, and I can't get into, but that was heartbreaking, because I'll send you the little teaser we did for it. It was going to be great. There's another film in the works that's a little different, but someday there'll be something, and I've got a couple projects in the pipeline that are related to that whole world of being a dad in the punk scene.
Awesome, man.
And the music scene. So, but I do want to do a part 2 of Punk Rock Dad, but just more about the band and about the South Bay and stuff like that. And
it's awesome.
The kids are grown now; they can tell their own stories.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here, and also people can people contact you on social media? Do you check your DMs? You check your messages?
Yeah.
Talking to people?
Hit me up. Just don't say bad words.
Do you respond to people if you ever get a bad comment? Do you respond to people ever?
Sometimes, but sometimes it's like opening a can of worms.
Absolutely. And they just want that response. Once they get it, they're like kind of won, you know?
Yeah, I don't do as much Facebook, but I definitely checking the Insta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's both get our hours down on social media.
Let's do it.
More steps. And this one of my friends is like super straight. He's like, don't smoke, don't drink, don't swipe. There's no social media. I'm like, that's crazy.
We're gonna raw dog life.
Yeah, raw. Dude, thank you so much for being here, bro. I appreciate you. Bye. All right, Jim, we're back on the phone. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's up?
Well, a couple things we've got to talk about. It's that before the pod, you were talking to me, and I thought it was interesting because, knock on wood, I don't have it yet, but you have tendonitis pretty bad in your ears. Is that both the ears or just one ear?
It's in both ears, but it's worse in my left ear. And yeah, some people pronounce it tinnitus, some pronounce it tinnitus. So everyone has a different thing.
Oh yeah, my bad, tinnitus.
Anymore, so. Tinnitus. That's like, but it's yeah, it started in about, I don't know, I want to say like 2016 after a really loud Australian tour, and I just came home and noticed that the ringing in my ears wasn't going away, and like it usually does, and it's been with me ever since. And after the last Dropkick tour, I noticed it was worse on the left side, so I started going to a specialist who works with a lot of top musicians, and she was able to get me some better earplugs and some in-ear monitors and hearing aids and stuff like that to kind of deal with it. But yeah, it's been a trip.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, you said like before you go to bed, that's the last thing you hear, and kind of the first thing you wake up, just like the sound in your ear, right?
You know, it's just this thing where you can kind of tune it out, but if anyone asks me, like, can you hear it right now? I just have to listen for it. And yep, it's there. And certain times during the day now, you know, I'll just notice it, and it can be affected by different things. If you're stressing out, it seems to come back. It seems to sometimes work a little bit with your blood pressure, and
Oh wow.
or if you've been in a loud environment, or you know, it can seem to act up, but it never really goes away. But thankfully, they've got some hearing aids these days that can do all kinds of wonderful things. I'm talking to you right now through my hearing aids, and I can listen to TV with my hearing aids on, and so it's probably everyone's going to have them at some point. You know, we'll all just be wearing our AirPods around and linked in with everything. But
I know,
you know, it's something that every musician out there needs to protect their hearing, and I'm proof positive on that. Is that, you know, I thought for the longest time that I wasn't doing any damage, but once I went and saw a specialist, there's an actual formula of, like, if you go and do an hour-long show and the decibel level is like around 90 to 110, like just the accumulation of that much loud music over an hour, that's damaging your ears every time you do it. And if you're a band that plays really loud, like 120 decibels, and right in that range, 130, you know, that's where, like, even just a few minutes of that, you're without earplugs, you're going to be severely damaging your ears. And everyone needs to get on the program and get those earplugs going, or at least have something, some kind, even if you have to go to CVS and get the little foam ones, at least you'll have something blocking your ears.
Yeah. Do you use the in-ear monitors now?
I do. I kind of been on and off, you know. On the last Dropkick tour, I used in-ear monitors, and you really got to have a good audio tech helping you out, because I was definitely worried about getting blasted. And I've talked to a few audio tech guys, and they confirmed that yes, it can happen. And then it happened to me the second time I was wearing them on a show in Europe, where I put them in. I went out to play, and the guy doing the monitors, I guess, got confused, and when Randy, our bass player, asked to have his vocals turned up, he shot them way up in my monitors. So the next time Randy yelled, it like blasted my ear out. So you got to be really careful with it, and make sure you have everyone working with you knows what they're doing. And you know, sometimes you're in Europe, the sound guy can be a little stoned on hash or had too many German beers or something, and forget what he's doing. So you really got to protect your ears at all costs.
Yeah, man, I gotta really pay attention to that. Adam Blake has it pretty bad too. But I don't know what. But I think Rusty wore earplugs most of the time in the band, though he's been pretty smart about that. But I have to get my son to start rocking them now while he's super young, playing drums for sure.
Yeah,
Smart.
for sure, because it's really the cymbals and obviously the guitars and the side monitors and the monitors in front of you, but definitely the cymbals. That's why you see some drummers that have that plexiglass cage. It's not because they want to look like Peter from Chris or from Kiss or whatever. They're doing that because to protect the other players from the cymbal noise.
Mm.
So it's hectic. I have a friend who's been a drum tech for years for huge bands like Arctic Monkeys and all these big bands. And he's a drum tech. He just sits next to the drummer the whole show, and he wishes he would have worn plugs because he's got it really bad now too. And
Crazy, man.
it's just part of the job. And I think the first time for you, someone like yourself, the first time if you get custom plugs,
Yeah.
you really can't hardly even tell they're there.
Yeah.
The big monitors that are huge and they look like you got cauliflower in your ears or something,
Yeah.
like, but you don't have to have them like that. But earplugs just fit right inside your ear, and they do a great job. And you can still hear. It's not like you completely block out your sound. You can still hear everything and sing perfectly fine. People say I sound better now that I got the earplugs. So maybe
That's
it's a good
cool.
thing.
Another thing we didn't talk about is Fiddlehead, our love for Fiddlehead. I had Pat on my podcast when he was out here doing that show you went to at Sound and Fury. He played one night with Fiddlehead, then the other night with Have Heart. So both his bands headlined that huge festival. Such a great human, Patrick Flynn, and such a great band, man, Fiddlehead.
I actually watched the Sound and Fury festival on TV. Just watched it on YouTube, and I had heard of Have Heart, but I'd never heard of Fiddlehead. And I watched their entire set. They had their whole set on YouTube, and I was just like, why haven't I ever heard of this band? They were just killing it, and the crowd was going off. That Sound and Fury Fest has just got such a great scene, and
Totally,
the
dude.
whole vibe is just really positive. And yeah, after a while, I reached out. I don't know how. I think I just posted something about them, like about saying how, man, this band really rules and this festival is great. And Pat reached out to me and said, hey, thanks for the shout out and all that, and sent me a shirt. And so I've been a huge fan ever since. They kill it.
Yeah, there's such a cool vibe. They have like a DC kind of flavor to them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And there's so many good bands out there now. There's so many bands like you're talking about Sound and Fury, and the scene's just thriving like all around the whole world. It seems like coming out of COVID, hardcore is just bigger than ever, and there's so many new bands. There's like so many new places people are playing. These new DIY spots. It's so beautiful to see, man. It's awesome.
And that was a band where when I posted that thing, I have friends of mine that, everyone likes all different kinds of music, but I had a few friends that saw that post and I was like, man, you got to check out this band. And I turned them on before I turned them on to Turnstile and different things. And then, 6 months later, they'll be like, yeah, I went to the Fiddlehead show or I went to the Turnstile show. And like, that's how bands get huge, obviously
Yeah.
it's off their music, but it's just people saying like, hey, what are you listening to? Or what's something new that you've heard? And that word of mouth is still strong these days of like, there's only a few shows that I would go out to see. And when I see something like that, I'm like, man, next time they come into town, I'm going to go see those guys play because, they just bring it live. And Pat keeps texting me saying, hey, we're playing LA. And I'm like, man, I'm in I'm in Munich. I'm gonna miss it, you know. But
That's
one of these days, I'm gonna get out there and go check out their show because I love that band.
um and since we did the pod, they announced the new singer for Linkin Park, Emily Armstrong. Did you see that?
I saw that. That was so crazy. I thought that was a really bold move, and that they would go with the female. And I feel like i- if anyone can do the job, and they can make people stoked to hear Lincoln Park playing again, then it's it's an interesting choice. And
She
I
sounds
think
amazing. Did you see the
it's
footage?
I saw the footage. She
Yeah.
sounds amazing. It sounds like she really captures the spirit. And it was such a huge loss with Chester. I mean, we had several interactions with him over the years, playing different shows, and he was always so humble and cool. And we had mutual friends through the band, and such a tragedy, especially coming from a band that's dealt with suicide. And it's the it's so rough for the band to come back. And I know
Yeah.
I could see it on their faces in that promotion thing they did, that it's like, hey, like, we're doing this for the fans because we know you want to hear the music. No one's ever going to take Chester's place, but we want you guys to sing along too. And I think that's what the fans just want. They just want you to keep playing the music and honoring the person in that way.
Yeah, and it's cool. Mike Shinoda is like, hey, I know it's not the original singer, but he's like, just give us one chance. Just come see us one time. If you don't like it, go back and listen to the old records. That's totally fine. We understand. But like, just we want to come back. It's been years. We want to come back and play these songs. I think it's like she's just killing it though. And also, I went and saw Journey too a couple weeks ago, and they have a different singer as well, the Arnell guy, who I watched their documentary and I thought it was incredible how they found him on YouTube. But then I went and saw them play with Rusty, who was his 61st birthday, and he grew up on Journey, and you can just close your eyes in there and like hear these songs, and it's like it's just crazy because when you talked earlier on the pod about different things that you sing in a different band, or for me, Toby Morse didn't play on our last H2O record, and Toby Morse wrote most of all the H2O's first couple records, and he has his signature sound and the melodies. But then like that, and then seeing the singer from Journey perform, and people just want to hear those songs, like you said, they just want to hear, and just to hear those songs live, I was so emotional, even though it wasn't the original guy. It just brought back memories for me, as a kid. So I think that's what kids with Linkin Park too, for sure.
Yeah, and it's tough for bands to go through that stuff. And I think it's part of the healing process for them to get back and remember what it was like playing those songs, because they're the people who are left behind. And that's what I'm always talking to people struggling with it, of remembering that you're going to leave a lot of hurt and broken people behind if you take that tragic step. And that's, I'm sure, what happened to the band members, of like, well, what do we do now?
Yeah.
I'm already grieving this person, but now what I do with myself and my career. So I think this is them grasping at something that can help them heal from this, terrible thing that happened. I was just thinking about that, about now that I saw Linkin Park, bringing out a new singer. I was like, why doesn't Nirvana do it? Why doesn't they find someone,
Oh wow.
that sounds
Yeah,
like
that's
Kurt,
interesting. But I don't know if we want to
go
see
out
that. I
there
don't.
and
I don't know.
play?
I don't know if that's different. I don't know why that sounds different. Like, or like a Beastie Boys. Like we'll never see the Beastie Boys again. And do we want to see the Beastie Boys again without him? You know what I mean? Without Yout,
I know.
it's crazy. But then
Yeah,
we,
that's true.
then it's like then we can go and talk about Matt Skiba singing for Blink, or
Yeah,
like how for some people that was their first time ever getting into Blink 182 with those Skiba albums. Like that could be some people's first time hearing Blink 182, and yeah, it's not the original singer, but they have that catalog of these songs. I thought he did a terrific job at it. It was cool to see him up there doing it, but yeah, it wasn't Tom DeLonge, but the fans wanted to see it, and so those records did pretty well with him singing on, and I thought that was a interesting moment for Blink 182.
yeah, it is. There's always, speaking from experience, there's always going to be
Yeah,
hurt feelings and tension and issues with people singing songs that other people wrote. I know that was especially painful for me, to have someone else singing a song I wrote about my dad or um, about my experiences dealing with Jason passing away. That was something very, very hard to absorb. And so there, it is something that has to be handled delicately, or else you can have lingering resentments.
Yeah.
I think we all need to spend some time on the therapist's couch to kind of work through that stuff. And you know, it is, but like you said, people out there just want to hear the songs,
Yeah.
and and hearing her sing the songs the other day was incredible. You know,
Yeah.
she sounds like she can do the job, and so
I don't think they
you
would have
know,
picked her if she couldn't either. You know what I mean? I'm sure it took a lot. It was a long process. You know, they're not just picking any person. So I'm sure they went through a couple people to get the right person. You know, it's like, and if the thing about it is like, if they're backing her, then the fans should give her a chance. I think, you know, if they're like, we think she's the one that can carry the tour. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting.
you know there's another one on that is a couple bands.
In excess too.
Yeah, and then Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Stone Temple Pilots played Beach Life Festival, and that's always the weird part for me, and I think for a lot of people is the person who takes over that job for someone who's passed away. Are they honoring the memory of that person, or are they pretending to be him, or are they just being themselves? And I think that's the case with the guy from Journey. He's just being himself
Yeah,
and going out there.
yeah, and he's a fan. Like, yeah, of course, yeah, he's being himself. Like, he's jumping around. He's like, or the guys are older. Stop Sam and George Max, and you know yeah, that's a good point. Also, like,
Yeah, you know, go ahead.
when Bad Brains had a different, when they had that, I forget the guy's name for the Rise record. It was a Bad Brains record to me. It was a different singer. I think his name was Israel. I think his name was Israel. They had a different singer for a hot second, and then also, just like, yeah, so obviously now Blink's bigger than ever, but there was a moment where they were still big, but there was a different singer. But a new singer being in there, I'm trying to flip it on a positive. Like, even Zoli for the Pennywise record, that might be some person's first time ever hearing Pennywise. You know, like, first time ever, or who knows. But then continuing on, then you come back. When you come back, it's even more of a bigger impact because it's freaking you. It's Jim. You're back. So like, have had these bands stopped. Who knows what it could happen? I don't know. Like, if Blink stop, or did Blink stop for a while before they got Skeebs? I'm just trying to flip the positive. But I get what you're saying. Like, if somebody has passed, it's different than somebody that's still alive. Knowing that somebody's out there singing your lyrics, it's different. You know?
Yeah, totally. It is, and you know, it's a lot. I was just talking with a friend today about the band stuff and all the personalities, and it's really hard for uh communication and for people to get along in bands, because there's so much on the line, and everyone kind of wants things to happen their way, and they get stressed out when it doesn't. And I think at the end of the day is just trying your best to understand each other, and that everyone's trying to do the best they can to get through it, and get up there and play music with people, and try and support each other. And that's the hardest thing to do. And I think, you know, uh, sometimes you kind of have to sit on your sword a little bit and just be like, hey man, let bands do what they have to do, and to get out there, especially when you're talking about this Linkin Park thing, and of it being a situation where there's still guys in that band that want to keep the music alive, and
Yeah.
there's people that want to hear it. That was such a influential band. Like, I don't think there's another band that came out of the period where Limp Bizkit was blowing up and doing all this stuff, and then Linkin Park just they just had hit after hit after hit.
So many hits, dude.
And yeah, and so what's supposed to happen there? Just you it'd be a shame to let it go with what happened to Chester. And if they can find someone that has the pipes to do it, more power to them. They should go out there and do their thing and get some healing.
Yeah, that's why I was so happy for even when the guys in No Doubt had Dream Car with Dave AFI, I was just so happy for Tony and all them because they just wanted to play music and tour. Fast forward to the No Doubt reunion, I went to that. I had to see the first one back. There was a beautiful show, man. Just because I know how happy they are together and playing those songs and having that time away and not playing them and stuff. It's like, yeah, most bands are dysfunctional families. They're brothers, but there's something magical about when they get together and they play live or write a song, or when they're together, they form like Voltron on stage. Regardless of any kind of drama, any kind of different egos or bumping heads, there's something that they do together that works. Do you know what I'm saying? That's magic.
Oh, yeah.
That's magical.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of all the insanity,
it's
it's like it just clicks. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's always been that way. Whether it's Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, and then Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey of the Who.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys notoriously were just battling. And I walked in. This is really going to date me, but I walked into a Tower Records one time, and there was a documentary about the Who, and it was Roger Daltrey talking about Peter Townsend, and he was saying, Peter and I are great friends, and and all the stuff the media says is total, bullshit and all this, and then they switch over to Pete Townsend. He's like, I can't stand him. You're never going to see us sharing a salad over lunch or something. And so it's just so crazy to see the two sides of the story of people always are going to butt heads when you're in bands. There's no way that you can write songs together and make these huge decisions and not have conflict. So
yeah,
hopefully
man.
you're just enough to work out all the problems, man.
Yeah, because it's all about the music. It's about the music, the message, and the love for what you're doing. Like if people can put aside any kind of thing with every band, we've all been through it with bandmates, and it's like, but the big picture is that you get to play music for a living. You get to tour, you get to travel, you get to take care of your families, and we're just punk rock kids who started these bands and get to speak our messages. You know what I mean? And that's the most important part. And when you do that together and put aside all the bullshit, you're helping change people's lives. Maybe if your lives aren't changing that crazy, or maybe you are, maybe you don't want to tour so much anymore, you have a family now, you want to keep it, tour here and there, which I totally get. We do the same thing, pick and choose the stuff you do to leave your families, because when you do have a family, it's different. It's hard when you're in a band and you're the only person that has kids, or you're the only person that's married, and other people can't relate to that. There's other people are still single, some people are sober, some people aren't. I've been that my whole life in my band. I've been the only really married guy first, the only guy with a kid. Do you know what I mean? The only sober guy. Everybody's sober now, but you know what I mean? I was always the kind of black sheep of the band, but it worked. Everybody had their own different things, and we all worked, and we made these records together, and we played together, and I don't know. But yeah, it's all different. It's all crazy moving parts. People think it's easy and it's perfect and it's glamorous and touring and all we talked about earlier in this pod, the sleep and the exhaustion and playing the shows, everybody on the same page, the same freaking set list, all that shit. There's so much work behind it. But when you're on stage, that shit works, dude. And that's what it's all about. So just getting to that stage, there's all kinds of shit leading up to it with all bands. Everybody, no bands are perfect, dude. We know that. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. That's all you hear about is the different stuff going on with different bands and their personal lives and how they get through it. But there's life happens, man. There's
Totally.
going to be things that different members are going through, and that's unfortunately we've been terrible at it. But that's where communication comes in. If you're
It's
not
key.
talking, yeah,
Communication's
if you're
key.
not talking, and someone doesn't tell you oh, by the way, I'm going through this terrible thing at home, or I've got my mom's got cancer or something like this, that happened to us on tour. I found out my mom had cancer and I just wanted to, get out of there and go be with her. And she eventually recovered, but it was a heavy thing.
Yeah.
it's good that, when you have band members that are supportive. 'Cause
Fam
if you
first,
don't,
family
it's
first, man.
yeah, exactly. So it's a lot, man. But like you said, a lot of times we we leave everything off the stage, and when you go up there to play, you go up there and try and just do your best, and it's really not fair to the crowd if you bring a bunch of baggage on stage with you, and people are grumpy at each other, and
But people
not
know when you're faking
interacting
it.
on stage.
People know when people are faking
Yeah,
it. People know when they're phoning it in. People can see that. But
yeah,
there's a reason why your band's still around, and a lot of bands are still around because it's real and people know it's real. And nobody's perfect fucking people. Nobody's perfect. And you're human beings. We all have feelings. We all go through shit. We all have loss. We all have people going through sobriety, all that stuff. But yeah, communication's key. I'm on a group text with my band. I talk to them every day. People bug out that me and my band hang out in real life. I don't know what it is, but we've been together 30 years and love each other. And we're a brother. And my friendship's more important to me than, like, if Rusty says, hey, I can't do this anymore, I'll be like, cool, I'm done. Like, I can't do the band without Rusty. We started together. He's my brother, and I'll figure it out. I just can't, because we're like, that's more important to me than just the friendship and the brotherhood of it. You know what I mean? But it's not always been the best. Obviously, we all have attitudes and moods and different labels and different managers and booking agents and all that business shit that gets in the way of everything, which is the worst part of being in a band, is the business aspect of it, the money and the right and all that stuff we talked about, the publishing and just all the different things that come that have nothing to do with just the 4 or 5 dudes who write these songs. I don't know. It's such an interesting thing that we do, man. But I'm happy you're still here. I'm happy you're making music, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like you said, I'm about to play No Effects' last show in a few weeks here, and
That's crazy.
It can go that direction where bands just say, hey, this isn't doing it for me anymore. But
Do you think it's really over
out.
in your heart of hearts?
From what Mike says, I have to take him at his word.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Riot Fest 2028 is going to have a big No Effects reunion, and they're gonna come back with their triumphant return.
Well, Slayer just came back too after a couple of years. A lot of bands. It's crazy because it's such this weird thing. It was like, we're like, you can't wait to get home to see your family, right? You get home, you're with your family doing all domestic shit, right? You just came off a crazy tour playing these big festivals, whatever you're playing. And then it's you once you get home, you're like, for a couple of days, like, wow, you miss it, man. You miss the insanity. It's something crazy that we love about this. You miss like, I don't know. We're being big kids out there, just playing music. We have no responsibilities. Obviously, checking in with our wives and our kids, but like, you have like this hour, 2 hours, all you have to focus per day to play music. But then when you're home, you're like, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait. How many more shows? And once you get home, you're like, damn, when's the next time I go out? It's such a weird relationship with this music. It's such a love. It's like the mafia, bro. Like, you never escape it. You can never leave it. It's like, it's such a wild thing, Jim. It's like, you know what I mean? It's so weird.
Right when you leave, they pull you back in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like a love-hate thing.
I love doing one-offs and just like quick hits, because then you can or doing short tours. I've always been doing that, because for me, like a long tour, I'm talking 5 weeks plus.
Fuck that.
That's when it gets to the point where you're like, whoa, like, I don't even know what day of the week it is.
That's too long, dude.
Shows are turning into one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I also feel like when it comes to family life, that's the point where it becomes such a stress on the family life, where it starts causing problems. And I know that's exactly what happened to me back in 2009, where I had to say, hey, what comes first? And family comes first.
100%. I mean, we sing about family. We sing about it. This is our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like,
family and brotherhood. Basically, we're the family and brotherhood band, so we know all about it.
But yeah, I get it too. Like, nobody else has kids in my band. Well, now Matt Henderson, he plays guitar for us from Madball. He's got 3 boys. So now I have another like parent in the band with me now. But yeah, the rest of the guys are married, no kids. Not that their lives aren't any busier or any different, but it's just different when you're a parent. You have to have different responsibilities, but
yeah.
Anywho, well, I appreciate it, man. This is awesome. And this phone call is even almost as good as the first part. I'm really psyched for appreciate your time, and I'm gonna go back out and get my walk in some more. I did the cold plunge 3 times this morning because I'm a savage. We're gonna play Jersey this week and play Canada with Dropkick Murphys and Bouncing Souls on Saturday. I'm excited.
Oh, nice. 2 of my favorite bands were about to go out with Dropkick.
I know.
For a long tour, and I just can't wait, man. That's gonna be cool. And luckily, it finally cooled down, so you have a nice.
Oh, dude,
today without
it's been
bro.
I was walking all week in that heat, bro. I don't give it. I'm a psycho. I'm out there with I'm on walking. I don't care, but it was really hard. It was really hard to walk this week, but.
Did you do the ice plunge when you got home?
Oh yeah, straight up, no sauna, straight in the ice bath. Oh yeah. You're gonna try it, man. You ever try it? Do you do ice baths?
I've tried to take a cold shower, and it's like
I gotta get you in this shit when you get back from tour. You're gonna need it after that freaking 10-year tour you're about to do. But I need to get you in the plunge, dude. It's a game changer, man. You're a surfer, dude. You've been in cold water. You've been in the cold water before.
Oh yeah, I've done plenty of ice plunges in the ocean in my life, so I'll be ready.
Well, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you, man. And I'll see you somewhere out there. I don't want to see you guys. You guys doing a LA show with Dropkick or no?
No, we're doing the No Effects show. So we're.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to come to that. Okay.
They're doing it too, and we also have a little secret thing that's coming out, but I can't.
Just text me. Yeah.
I think one of the nights of when the No Effects thing, there might be a little after party that people want to know about, but I can't say anything about it yet.
But I'm coming to see you August 2nd in Austin. You're playing the same venue we're playing. We're doing a free show the next night, October 3rd. October 2nd is you guys at the Mohawk. Austin, we're October 3rd. I'm stoked.
Nice.
I might just sing some Minor Threat with you. I'm about to get for Minor Threat and sing a song with you guys.
I know. We do that one all the time, and it's always best when you do it. We did it with Tim from Rise Against when we were in Chicago.
That's cool.
That's always the go-to, man.
I just saw Gorilla Biscuit.
That's a reunion. We need the Minor Threat reunion too.
To be honest, bro, knowing Ian and being his friend and being honored to say I'm his friend, I know it's never going to happen. And I think Fugazi is more reality, which I've seen a bunch of times. They never broke up. But I don't want to see Minor Threat, man, to be honest. Do you want to see them up to 60 years old? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. It would be so huge. That's another one. It'll be Riot Fest 2027 for them.
But they'll never do it. But do you ever see Minor Threat or no?
Minor Threat, did I get to see them? I don't think I did, no.
Yeah.
I saw Fugazi.
Saw Fugazi a bunch.
At the Palladium.
Yeah. Saw Embrace, which was sick. I just saw recently Brian Baker playing a Minor Threat song with Gorilla Biscuits on stage. It was sick. I just saw it the other day. I know, dude, in Jersey.
I remember when Gorilla Biscuits came out, and I was like, okay, that's what we have to play.
Really?
That's the exact music that we have to play.
That's awesome. That's a great record, man. Great record.
Such a killer record, and I love Civ and doing the Warped Tour with them. And,
oh, yeah.
Just everything those guys do. And they did the cruise, Flogging Molly cruise with us, so it was killer getting to see them twice.
Oh, that's cool. How was the cruise? It was fun? I never done a cruise before.
Oh, the cruise is mayhem, dude.
I can imagine.
You guys should do that, man. You should hook up with Flogging and do that. You guys would have fun. It's wild. I've never thought I'd be one to want to go on a cruise ship, but when you can go on a cruise ship and see some of your favorite bands playing in the Lido deck or something like that, it's pretty much a trip. And then, get to hang out with a bunch of fans and people from the scene. It's a good time.
Yeah, I might do it. I put it on my bucket list. That's something I might want to do for sure.
Yeah, just don't play during a monsoon like we had to.
Jeez, that's perfect for you guys. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It was like a storm. It was just sideways rain, just unbelievable. Everyone was drenched, but we had fun. It was cool.
Wow. All right, my brother. Well, have a great day. I'm about to hit these streets again, and yeah, man. I'll see you soon. Hopefully, I'll cross past you this summer. I'll see you in Austin.
All right, Toby. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
So much, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
All right, man. Have a great day.
All right, peace.
Peace. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology. Cryo-technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over a 2-hour conversation. People submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.